Well, good morning. It is our
Hello.
regular Sunday morning slot. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Bex.
I'm Adam.
Yes.
Welcome.
And we are YGTV. So it's wonderful to have your company. I've seen already Neil and Verna were the first people in this morning, and Mauricia. Keith, Dingo's in, and Sharon. Hello, Sharon. Nice to see you. Grimmy, good morning, he says, dipping in and out today. All 4 grandchildren had a sleepover. Whoa.
Wow, you must be feeling a bit tired this morning, I would think.
You must be. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you very much for dipping in and out anyway. We love to have your company. Thank you for coming in. It's always nice to be here on a Sunday morning, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, we've got some fantastic plants today. There's always sort of plants for every situation, Bex.
Absolutely,
really?
that's
Yeah,
what we
which is
do
good.
here at
We do
YGTV. So, few things to tell you for anybody that's brand new. You get free postage on everything. Woohoo! So, if you buy one thing today, free postage. If you bought every single thing from us here in the potting shed, it would all come with free postage. Now, it has to be on the show plan, and you can find that by going to YouGarden.com. Click on the YouGarden TV or the Live Now button, and then scroll down. That gives you all the items that have been selected for the YGTV show. Every single one of those has free postage attached as long as you use the super special magic code, which this week is YGTV 1725. 1825. I knew I'd got that wrong. It's YGTV 1825. So when you place your order, enter that. It'll give you all the discounts, all the deals, all the savings, but also free postage on everything that you select from us in the potting shed. Join the club. There will be 2 prices that will appear on screen. The lower price is the one you want to pay. Costs you £10 to join the club, and then you get a 15% discount off of everything that you buy from YouGarden, whether that's during the YGTV shows or if you go and search the website. Unfortunately, though, there is postage to pay if you order from the website. But by joining the club, you'll get a welcome pack sent out to you. You'll get £20 worth of YouGarden vouchers and 2 postage vouchers worth $6.99 each. So you can get some free postage there as well. There is an email address. I'd love you to send your emails, please. It's ygtv@yougarden.com. Ali G, I've seen yours. There was another one that came in as well. Oh, Ali G, Dingo, Penny, you're all in sending, I'm assuming they're all photos. We will have a little look through. Actually,
It's definitely been that time of year, Bex,
pictures,
for pictures, isn't it?
Pictures, yes.
So much flowering in the garden.
I love it.
The garden. Driving in this morning, it was fantastic. The horse chestnuts, the hawthorn, the cow parsley, the wisteria, the lilacs.
I had my little wander
Wow.
in the garden this morning, taking pictures of my Caribbean lilies.
Oh, yes.
Which are all looking amazing.
Yeah.
I also was doing a little video of my Ceanothus standard, because that is in full bloom at the moment. So I was taking pictures, saving them. So it's
You
very
need to look
exciting.
after that, because somebody might actually kidnap that.
I know.
And charge
You can't get
ransom
hold
money
of
for
them.
it. Yeah.
Anyway, yes, it's lovely to have your company. If you'd like to send us any emails, we would love to see what's going on in your garden. If you've got any questions, by all means, join the chat on YouTube or on Facebook. We will do our best to answer those. And I think I covered everything. Did I cover everything?
You did cover everything. Yeah.
Lovely. Should we start talking about some plants? Because that's what we're here for, isn't it?
You've done the housekeeping.
That's what we're here for. We
done.
want to talk about some plants. Shall we start with the Exochorda? I was going that way. Shall we start with the Exochorda? Because I feel like you about this, Adam. I think this is a very overlooked plant, and it shouldn't be.
And I don't understand it, Bex.
It's underrated.
It is, yeah. I mean, it's so easy to grow. First thing to say is I've seen this grow in clay soil. I've seen it grow in sandy soil. I've seen it grow in windy and sheltered gardens. It's bone hardy. Once it's established, it's really, really drought tolerant. It will come back year after year. Gets to about 2 metres tall. Beautiful upright habit.
Look at all those flowers.
And it is smothered in the most incredible, beautiful white flowers this time of year. They've got a lovely lime green centre. And I really don't understand why this one isn't more popular. I mean, it's a really stunning shrub. But as it grows upright as well, it arches a little bit. So it's got a really graceful habit. It even has the most amazing buttery yellow leaves in the autumn before they drop. And you can grow this pretty much anywhere in the UK, in the ground or in a container. So hopefully after today, a few more of you might give this a home, because it is a beautiful, stunning shrub to grow.
I really like it when the buds start to open as well, or just before, I should say, the buds start to open, because it's known as the pearl bush, isn't it, as well?
Yeah.
And that's because there's a few flowers still waiting to open up on here, but when this is covered in those flowers just before they've started to open, it is quite magical. And then, of course, it still delights you with all of these beautiful white flowers on here as well. And it's just hardy, easy, all soil types. It'll get nice and big as well, won't it?
It pretty much ticks all the boxes. And if you want to as well, it's one of these spring flowering shrubs. If it gets too tall, prune it down immediately after it's flowered to the height you want it to be, and all the new growth that comes will flower for you next year. So it's it's easy in every aspect. But for some reason, there's not many of these around. I can only think of about 1 or 2 of my customers' gardens at the moment that have got these.
I know, it's such a shame.
So we're fighting the corner for the Exochorda.
Absolutely.
That's what we're going to do.
I am definitely fighting the corner for it. Sunny or shady? Or both?
Yeah, I mean, full sun is good. Dappled shade is fine.
But not deep shade?
No, I wouldn't go for deep shade. I mean, it would grow in deep shade, but it'd be a bit leggy and it wouldn't flower very much. But other than that, I can think of one of these growing in, where I used to live in Bishop Stortford.
No,
well, the other one's in Swaffham. But yeah, there's one in Swaffham, just up the road from me, one of my customers' gardens, and that's really exposed, that garden. It's really sandy soil. And I can think of another one in Bishop Stortford where I used to live, growing, and that's in really heavy clay soil, and they both grow really, really well.
Yeah.
So it's a tough shrub. So yeah, give an Exochorda a home, because honestly, you'll love it and you'll be glad you did.
So as long as it's getting a few hours of direct sun a day, you'll be good.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
I love it, honestly.
Tough, easy and beautiful, this shrub.
By far one of my favourites. So I still don't have one, but I will, because I'm fighting the corner for it. So I need to actually, stand by what I'm saying, don't I? So I think I might add that to my list to order today. Now, it is only £16.99 if you're in the club. You have got a £5 saving on here, so you need to access that saving by entering the code and get the extra discount of the 15% by joining the club. And that will be delivered to you very, very quickly. Orders are coming out so quick at the moment.
Yeah, we've got to keep on top of them, because I mean, there's so many coming in. We need to get the plants out the door, don't we? And just a quick thing to say about this shrub as well. When you order this, you'll see it's got the little snowflake symbol, and that's a bit of a reassurance for you as well, because this is one of our hardy plants. So anything that's really, really hardy, have that snowflake symbol, and it means if everything did happen to it and you lost it, we'll replace it for you free of charge, a year, 5 years, 10 years down the line. We'll just ask you to pay the P&P. So if you're a new gardener and you're thinking, oh, I've not got very green fingers, I don't want to take a chance, well, we give you that bit of a guarantee. We kind of give you that sort of comfort zone to know that if anything did happen, you'll get another one.
Yeah, and I don't know of anywhere else that offers that, by the way. You can't go down to your local nursery 10 years later and say, this plant died, can I have a new one, please? I don't know of anywhere. By all means, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not seen anywhere that offers that lifetime guarantee. Your item number is 511240. If you'd like to place an order, go to YouGarden.com, but you can actually use the phone lines as well if you would like to. The details are on the bottom of the screen there, 0844 502 0050. The telephone lines are open until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Let the operator know you've got that code though, and they'll enter it for you, and then you'll still get all of those amazing discounts. Let's bring you over to this one next. This is the Hibiscus woodbridge. Now I fell in love with hibiscus last year, and I've got the Hamabo, but I think they're all absolutely gorgeous, beautiful pink, tropical looking flowers you get on this.
Yeah, these are fabulous, and these are hardy. Although they look tropical, these are hardy down to about -20, -22. Really, really tough shrubs. But the great thing about hibiscus, Bex and I were just saying just now when we all drove in this morning, everybody's garden is exploding with shrub colour, flowering their socks off. But when you get to the other end of the year, when you get towards August, September, there's very few shrubs that are flowering apart from these. Hibiscus are brilliant for bringing in that late summer colour into your beds and borders. They start even at the end of July, they'll go through August, they'll go into September. Dozens and dozens of flowers on each shrub. It's got a lovely upright habit. The pollinating insects go berserk for it. It's a super, super tough plant as well. And again, this is one that will grow in most situations. It will grow in clay soils, sandy soils. It will grow in full sun. It will grow in part sun. And it's easy to prune. If it ever gets too tall for you, sort of about mid-springtime, just chop it down to the height you want it to be, and all the new growth that comes up will flower the same year. So it's easy to care for, and it is one of those plants, it love it, leave it plants.
Yeah, I love the fact that it just flowers on new growth, so it's not complicated when it comes to pruning. Hassle. It's very, very simple. 500074, it's a big one. Check it out. Hang on, sorry, Matt. Check it. Yeah. So it's a nice big established plant for you. I got one, as I say, last year, and with a year's worth of growth, it's about this size now.
Quick.
Yeah,
fast growing.
You've already got a really nicely established plant here. I just wanted to point that out. It's £16.99 if you'd like to get it. Make sure you use your code to get that discount, will you please? It is the Hibiscus woodbridge. Love the pink colour. Love the fact that it gives you a lovely tropical feel in your garden, but actually isn't one that you need to worry about at all because of its hardy nature. YGTV1825 is your offer code this week, so make sure you are using that. It gives you all of the discounts. Right, we're bringing you to the favourites table. Now, a few things did change on the favourites table. We didn't quite get it right. Although I am claiming the Galardia, because I put that on the favourites table and Stu moved it off. And halfway through the show, he's like, you were right, that should have been on the favourites table.
We don't always get it right, but...
I'm claiming that victory. Anyway, we have got the favourites table, and this is basically the most popular items. There's probably a few others that could be on here, but we've only got space for 5 of them. We're starting off with the gorgeous rhododendron over here, this beautiful hybrid pink we've got for you. A perfect plant, I think, Rhodys, for filling in the gap between your spring bulbs and the summer stuff happening, because it's in full bloom now.
That's the thing, Bex, as well, and it's in bloom now, and what we know, we're kind of coming up to the...
It's May the 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, oh, it's May the 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Do you know, I nearly said then we're coming up to the 3rd week of April. We have been working so quick. We said that before the show. We've lost track of the days and the weeks. It's because we're in here all the time. We don't get to see the change of the seasons. But yeah, I mean, these are fabulous plants for that mid-space. And also, you've got options with these. So if you've already got rhodies, azaleas, camellias, like this, growing really brilliant in your garden, you can plant these straight into the ground with those other plants. If you love one of these, but you haven't got acid soil, these make fabulous container plants. These are the Yakushimanum type of rhododendrons, which are kind
That's a new word.
Yeah, they're much more kind of compact and rounded and sort of slower growing. So, you know, well, although they can get big eventually, they will live in containers for a long, long time.
Yakushimanum.
Yeah, Yakushimanum. That's kind of like a a Japanese breed of rhodies that grow in a nice sort of dome shape.
Oh, lovely.
And yeah, they don't go berserk. You know, they're not going to get huge, great big monster things. But if you want to grow them in a container, use the ericaceous compost, and you can still enjoy rhodies one way or the other. And they're evergreen, so all the year through you have these fabulous glossy leaves.
They're so glossy as well. Yep. Check out the gloss on those.
Beautiful leaves on that, and these are hardy plants. They'll get through any amount of frost. So if you have a -10, a -15, a -20, rhodies will get through that. They'll drop their leaves down in the winter and they'll look a bit sad, but come the spring, the leaves pop up, they flower really from kind of when the buds first start to show colour to when they finally finish. It could be sort of 5 to 6 weeks of flower on one shrub. The pollinating insects will go berserk for them. You'll get the bees, the butterflies, they'll enjoy them. And you can put these somewhere shady as well. They don't mind a bit of dappled shade, even sort of a slightly more shadier area than that. And they make great companions with things like hostas, acers, ferns, all those kind of plants that like those cool kind of damp situations. But if you want something that's dramatic, beautiful, colourful, tough, easy to grow, go for one of these. You'll love it every year. Every year it will bring a real kind of joy and a spark of happiness to your garden. You'll walk outside and you'll just smile when you see that with those beautiful, beautiful heads of huge pink flowers.
Well, £12.74 for a plant that size and that beautiful. Still buds waiting to open up on this one. Should we do a root check?
Yeah, go on then.
I mean, we should, shouldn't we?
We should.
Yeah, nice and rooty. Look, that one really does want to be potted on pretty soon, doesn't it?
Rhodies have very, very fine fibrous roots as well. And just one thing about when you plant rhodies, make sure you plant them exactly the same height as they are in the pot, or even just slightly proud of the soil. And that way, they'll really, really thrive. And also, long term, you can feed them as well. So, we've got like a citrus feed and stuff that you can find if you want, which is brilliant for feeding them as well.
Absolutely. Get yourself an ericaceous feed and that'll keep it really, really happy. Your item number is 511671. It's £12.74 as your club price. So you can really see where those savings start to add up. The more you buy, the more you save by being in the club. Just want to say good morning to Woodfield, who's joined the chat. Who else? Simon, hello to you. Victoria's now in. Alistair, hello, good morning. Caroline, good morning as well. And Neil says, ordered more gallery lupins and the Arizona red on Thursday. Already had confirmation that they've left the nursery. So thanks for backing us up there, Neil, because, plants are coming out quick.
They are, and I love those gallery lupins. I've got 3 of those to go in my own garden, which I got from here. And I haven't grown lupins for years. And we've got this new extra bit of garden, so I've got space now. and I've decided to put all the things in there that I've wanted, but I've run out of space for.
Good.
Put loads of lilacs in the other day as well,
Nice.
which I've wanted for years. So, yeah, and lupins, I don't want to talk about lupins, but they bring back, we will be in a minute, but they bring back sort of childhood memories for me, lupins.
Do they?
They're just such an easy plant, but they're coming up in a moment.
All right, well, we're going to talk about the hydrangea next. This was brand new to us in the potting shed this week. We were very excited about this because there are very few flowers that are blue. And I think I said this the other day. You could be mistaken by watching us here on YGTV thinking that blue is a common flower because we do. Oh, there's a fly. We do seem to bring the range of the blue flowers, but actually they are quite rare.
Yeah, well, we did a little competition, I think, the other day, and we got up to about 12 blue flowers. Yeah, I think there's a few more. But
true blue, though, not blue. Purples. We're talking blues.
Yeah, because it annoys me when they say something's blue and it's not. It's mauve or purple or lilac. But you can actually change the colour of this particular one, this Niko blue, because... bit like we were saying where the road is. If you've got rhododendron azaleas growing in your garden and thriving, and you plant this in the ground, you'll get this beautiful blue colour on it. But if you want to plant this in a pot and you use ordinary, or not ordinary, but like our professional compost that isn't for ericaceous plants, it will become more of a lilac or pinky colour. So it is literally one of those types of geraniums, depending on the pH of the soil, it'll either be true blue, sort of a nice bright pink, or sometimes in the middle you can get almost like a bluey kind of pink, believe it or not. And they do look like that. Easy to grow, great plant for shade, great plant for part sun as well. You can grow these in containers. Only gets to about a metre tall, this one, probably about a metre spread eventually. You can put it straight in the garden if you want to. And this is one of the mop head type ones as well. Don't worry about pruning this for the first 2 or 3 years. Just let it grow, let it fill out, let it kind of form a nice shape. And then all you need to do after that is each year just take about a third away of the really old kind of sad looking stems and do that each year. New stems will come through and they'll give you flower the following year. But this is a real beauty, this one. Easy, colourful, and there's not many plants that you can decide what colour it will be, but with this one, you can decide.
Yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah,
I love the fact that you can change the colour of it. Hydrangeas are just so well suited to our UK weather, aren't they? They really do just thrive in the UK, and this is why they are quite prevalent. You do see a lot of them, but I love that one. I've got loads of white ones to pot up. I haven't got any blue ones. I need to mix in a blue one, I reckon.
Yeah, that blue is lovely.
I'm gonna be growing some, but I'm gonna be growing them in our heavy-duty pots because I don't know if you know, I might move house. Have I said it? Have I mentioned it? I don't know if I've mentioned it.
Only about as many times as I've mentioned I live in Swaffham, so you haven't mentioned it that many times, I don't think.
Well, I'm going to container grow mine just in case I do actually move house. If I don't, then I'll put them in the ground later. But they can be container grown.
You're going to pot on the kids as well and keep them potted on till you move as well?
Kick them out as soon as possible. I've only got one this weekend. One's at a camp, so I've only got the little one, so it's nice and quiet in my house. Right, 511680 is the item number if you'd like to go for that hydrangea, the Niko Blue in the 2 litre pot. It's £12.74. Go to YouGarden.com to place your order. Make sure you're using your offer code to get all of your discounts and your free postage. Everything in the potting shed has free postage with that code, so yay. Order as many as you like. Get all that free postage. Right, let's go on to the Helimium, the April Sun next. Beautiful, saucer-shaped, bright yellow flowers on this for probably a good 3 or 4 months. Yeah, a long period. I mean, it has that sort of main flowering period in April, and then you get little flushes of yellow flowers throughout the season. It's got that really nice foliage. It's almost a bit like rosemary kind of foliage as well, or thyme foliage. It's evergreen, so it looks good all the year through. And this one is probably going from one extreme to the other. We were talking about the rhodies and the hydrangeas liking a bit of shade, dappled shade. This one, full sun. That's what this loves. Full sun. The brightest, hottest, most well-drained position in the garden. This will thrive. You can grow it in containers if you haven't got the right soil. And it's a real joy, this. the plant you see, it'll get to about double the height, double the width of the plant you're going to receive, and it will kind of gently form a nice dome shape and sort of tumble over the side of a pot. But if you're going to put it in the garden, you could put it in gravel areas, really stony soils, sandy soils. Make a good rockery plant.
Rockery, yeah, it'd be lovely on a rockery. Really, really nice. Loved by the pollinating insects, and it's a really gorgeous deep yellow, a very precise yellow. It's not a wishy-washy yellow.
It's like a buttercup yellow, I think.
Beautiful buttercup yellow. And you can just see there, look at the amount of buds. I mean, it's already in full flower now. and then there's just so many buds to keep developing on this plant.
Yeah, there are. Honestly, there's loads of buds just waiting to open up.
And it'll be a rooty. Let's see if it'll be a rooty beauty.
I bet it will.
I don't want to make too much mess because Bex did a beautiful thing this morning. She hoovered the whole place before we come in.
I gave it a nice clean.
Yeah.
Aren't I good?
That hasn't got a good root system. You can't see it because it's a very dark, fibrous root system. But you can tell by the fact that the root ball is holding together.
Yeah.
So that's really good. And it even comes in a lovely yellow pot to kind of match the plant. So they're the kind of pots you might want to reuse as well afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. Right, you have got a couple of quid saving on there, so use that code to get it. It's £15.29 if you're a club member. 510840 is the item number on that one. Did you say it is hardy, right?
Yeah, it's hardy. I mean, I will caveat that a little bit. It is hardy, but if you live in a really, really cold area, if you're going down below sort of -5, -6, something like that, I would give it some protection.
Okay.
Definitely. But generally down to that, it's good. But the thing with a lot of things that we say are hardy, Mediterranean type, that they're a lot more hardy if they're in dry soil.
Right,
Dry and cold, a lot of things can get through.
But wet
and
it
cold.
freezes.
Yeah,
and...
wet and cold can be game over. So, just bear that in mind with this one.
All right, lovely. Let's go on to your childhood memories then. Let's go to the Lupin Gallery collection. And this is a great variety of Lupin because it's just that little bit shorter. It doesn't get as leggy and long as other varieties. So this is great for smaller gardens, but in general, if you just want a sort of neater Lupin. Yeah,
and gorgeous 3 colours on here as well, particularly like the purple one that's got that lovely sort of bicoloured flower on it. And these, I know these are rooty beauties because we've had some of these out the pot already. And
those are proper rooty, aren't they?
These are so ready to go, and these lupins will flower for you this year. There is no doubt that these will flower this year, and also you can get a double flowering out of lupins as well. So let them do their initial flower, and what you'll find is with lupins, you get a nice big central flower spike, and when that sort of is pretty much gone over, chop that central flower spike off. You'll get lots of smaller side flower spikes that will take over, and then when they've gone, cut the whole lupin down to about 5-6 inches above ground level. Give it a good feed. Use is that blooming fast available still, or has it gone again?
I think the 1.25 kilogram tub might be about to sell out.
Okay, well if you can still get your hands on that.
I believe it's still available at the moment.
Yeah, use something like a blooming fast. Give them a good feed, and what you'll find is within 3 or 4 weeks you'll see new shoots come up. And they'll give you a second order. They'll give you a second lot of flower later in the season. So you can get a double flowering season out of these. And they're great for cottage gardens, great for pots, great for containers. Loved by the pollinating insects. And they're really fun perennials for children to grow as well because they're easy and straightforward. And they're perennial. In the right position, they will come back for you year after year.
Half price deal there. £15 saving, $12.72 if you're a club member. Remember, you get that 15% discount by joining the club. You do find you get the best prices shopping on YGTV. From the whole of the YouGarden world, the best prices, the best deals tend to be from watching us here on YGTV. You don't have to watch us live. It's nice if you are and you join in, but you can go back and you can watch these shows at any time on YouTube, on Facebook and via the website. They're all there. They're all available. So if you want to come back in later on and watch, you can do. Just want to say good morning to Claire quickly on Facebook, who we know as Monks.
Hi, Monks. I answered a question for Monks the other day.
She's just bought the Exochorda. Oh, it's a different Claire. Sorry, there's 2 Claires. So Claire on Facebook has just bought the Exochorda. Thank you so much for that. She says she's never seen it before. And then there's also another Claire on Facebook who we know as Monks from TikTok, who says, what was it? She said she's away for the weekend, so she's got a garden sitter. I love that. We need to think about, I get dog sitters, I get babysitters, and I get garden sitters as well. Absolutely. You need someone to come around and look after it.
Well, it's been so dry as well recently, isn't it? So, yeah, you do need somebody to water. I think if it's the same Monks, it was Monks asked me about the carpet phlox, I think.
Probably.
There was a question about those, yeah. So, yeah.
All right, well, good morning to you. Thank you for joining in the chat. If you want to join in, you can join in on YouTube and on Facebook, or you can send emails if you want to. I was just taking a quick look at some of the photos, which we'll show you in a little while. Right, let's move on to the final item on on the favourites table. This one got promoted onto here because this is one of the most popular ones from our Thursday show. This is the Galardia. Oh, we've sold some already this morning. Well done, everybody. I adore this plant. I think this is a stunner. When you see these flowers and you see the colour combination and then the yellow tips to the edges of the petals, and these are going to work so well. Sorry, Adam, I'm stealing all your thunder. These are going to work so well in... I'm just thinking of my border I've got my Rudbeckia and I've got my Bowles Mauve and I've got my Echinacea and I've got my Verbena bonariensis, and I think it's going to be perfectly at home in that border.
These are like a hot border plant.
Oh, my Geranium Rosanne's in there as well.
Oh, they'll look amazing with Geranium Rosanne. Yeah. I mean, all they ask me with Galardia, they like a nice, bright, sunny spot. That's what they're really, really happy. And the plants we're sending out to you, look, there's already flower buds. Flower buds on these. So within another 2 or 3 weeks, you will get these flowering. The root system's going to be amazing. It has to be, doesn't it?
Always.
Oh, look at that. I mean, you can't get a plant with flower buds on that size and have a rubbish root system. That's our compost for you, giving that fabulous root system. So get these home, get them in the garden, plant them in a nice sunny spot. Within 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to have these beautiful daisy-like flowers. These are brilliant landing pads for the pollinating insects. They'll be straight onto these. You'll get butterflies and all sorts of lovely pollinators on these. They come back year after year. They're perennials. So they like a sunny spot, but they like a sort of a reasonably well-drained spot with moisture retentive soil, and grow them at the front of the border, these ones, in a nice open sunny position, but they make really, really good pot plants, container plants as well.
Oh, there you go. I can take it with me when and if I move house. Another half price deal for you on that one. It's a £15 saving, bringing that price down to £14.97. £12.72 if you're in the club. You have to be in the club, everybody.
And that's it. I mean,
in the club.
So £12.72 there.
Yep.
You could use a £5 voucher.
You definitely could.
On top of that, and get an even more insane reduction.
If you've got any of your vouchers remaining from when you joined the club, yes, you definitely can do that. A top tip with your vouchers, by the way, you get £20 by joining the club, broken down into 4 £5 vouchers. Don't pay any attention to the start dates on them. You can use them at any time. What you have to pay attention to is the end dates, okay? So once they've expired, they've expired. You can't use them. So check the end dates. But if you want to use them all in one day on 4 separate orders, you absolutely can.
Wow.
The head gardener told me that, so it's a little secret that I keep telling everybody. Right, something I do need to order because I've got so many things to pot up. I'm down to half a bag, so I need to put my order in. Is our professional compost. And the reason I need to place an order for this is not just because I'm low on it, but because it is the best compost.
Yeah, easily, Bex. I'm down to a bag and a half on this now, and that's when I start to get a bit panicky.
Yeah.
Because I do like to have about 4 or 5 bags under the decking in the greenhouse, because it's that time of year, isn't it? We're doing so many things. I've just recently finally pricked out all my last seedlings. They're all in 9-centimetre pots. My cucumbers, my tomatoes have been potted on into bigger pots, but funny enough, you should bring that up, I've got 6 of these 30-litre pots in my greenhouse, and each year I grow 3 cucumbers and I grow 3 tomato plants, and I grow them in this compost because you just get the most amazing results. First thing to say about this compost, it's a peat-reduced compost. And we were doing that ages ago, long before everybody else started doing that, and even some of the peat that is still being used, it's renewable peat made from sphagnum moss, which is really, really important. But where we've taken the peat away, we've added that composted wood fibre. Does lots of things, but 3 things I like to point out. It lets the air get down to the roots. It's really, really important. It allows the water to percolate through, but also allows those roots to get down into the compost and produce that really incredible fibrous root system that gives all your plants the best start in life. And even once they've got their roots down into the compost, there's a slow-release fertiliser in this that can feed your plants for up to 6 months. There's a wetting agent as well that makes a compost hydrophilic. It means it wants to absorb the moisture. So often you use one of those inferior composts, it dries out, you go to water it and the water comes straight off like water off a duck's back. This one wants to soak the moisture in much, much more quickly and rehydrate your plants. It's pH balanced, so it's not really alkaline, it's not really acid, it suits the vast majority of plants. And as Stu always says, the value's in the bag, not on the bag on this product. And it is one of our most loved 5-star rated products that we do. I think it is the most 5-star loved rated product, and we know that from what you tell us and the results we get personally ourselves using
Absolutely.
it.
It's all about making sure your plants are going to be fed with the correct ingredients, and you know there are ingredients in here that are going to feed your plants, but the texture of it allows those roots to be able to develop and reach for their nourishment, for the vitamins and minerals that they need, the moisture that they need. You spend money on your plants, you want to ensure their survival, and this is one of the ways you can do that. Used to be just the compost that we used at the nursery. As a business that grows plants, we have to use the best, and this is the best. I know a lot of you already know this, but for anybody that's brand new and watching, you might be thinking, what are they talking about? It's just dirt, it's just compost.
No, it's not
what
dirt.
are you talking about? It really does make a difference, and please do a little bit of research, do a little bit of reading, because it's fascinating when you go into, you know, the reasons why good compost makes a difference, and the kind of biology. That's probably not the right word, but the biology of the plants. Yeah. It's incredible when you understand why it makes such a difference. 100125 is the item number. You got a big saving. You've also got your 15% discount. Plus, this gets delivered free of charge. There is no postage to pay on this one, and it gets delivered direct to your door, which is, I mean, it's a pain in the butt, isn't it? Sorry, I'm allowed to say that?
Yeah, you just did.
Pain in the bum. It's a pain in the bum going and buying compost. It's heavy, it's wet, it's annoying, it makes a mess in the back of your car. Get the delivery man, woman, person to bring it to your door for you. It's so much easier that way. I've made right friends with my yodel man.
Oh, really?
He's lovely.
Does your husband know?
He delivered some boxes yesterday. He's like, there's a few here. Would you like me to put them in the garden for you? I was like, yes, please. He carried them through the side gate and put them in the garden for me.
Oh, I said the guys collect the cardboard stuff around ours. They must wonder what else is going on.
Yeah.
Like,
boxes and
the end of the week,
boxes.
obviously you collapse them all down, and I have a pile about that big, and then I have to put the recycling bin on top so they don't all blow away in the night. But it's like, what does this guy order all the time? It's insane.
Right,
I'm not talking about this.
Adam's favourite. This is one he keeps talking about. It is a beautiful planter, though, isn't it? This is the olive planter in green. I know nothing about it. It's the 40 centimetre, 16-inch diameter, so it's a really nice big pot, this. I reckon that this is the equivalent of about 30 litres, isn't it? We compared it to one of our heavy duties. Approximately, it might be, I don't know, slightly less, but near enough. It's got a £5 saving on it at the moment as well, so our discount club price is £21.24. It does have a drainage hole in the bottom and hole, but I would probably drill a few extras in there, would you?
Well, you got to. You either drill a few extra holes, or you get yourself a set of pot feet and stand it up on some pot feet. You could do sort of
either way, whatever you want to do. But it's much easier to drill holes into plastic pots.
Oh yeah, straightforward.
Like, it's super simple. I don't know if you've ever tried drilling a hole into the bottom of a stone or a ceramic pot. It's not something I'm ever going to do ever again, because you spend, I mean, a pot like this, just imagine how much that would be if it was ceramic.
Well, it's really funny to say that, because I did have a ceramic pot once, and I decided to put some more holes in it.
And you demolished it, didn't you?
Yeah, and so I put the masonry drill in, and I was almost halfway through, and I really gave it some. And then the next minute, the whole drill just went straight through the bottom of the pot and smashed it to bits. It's just a pile of rubble.
We've all done it. It's a risk. And a pot like that, I'm going to say that's going to be £70 if that was ceramic.
Oh, easily, yeah, and it'd be damn heavy as well. I mean,
so you don't want to just try and drill some holes in the bottom of that and then 70 quid gone. You can't take it back and go, excuse me, this is broken. Can I have another one?
I've messed it up with trying to drill holes in it. The difference as well, this one's not going to be super heavy, like a proper glazed pot. It's not going to be affected by the frost. It's not going to be cracked. You're not going to try and pick it up at the end of the winter and the rim part comes off and the rest of the pot sits on the ground. Before? Done it loads of times. Really annoying. You pick it up, I've just got the rim of the pot left, and you can't even use the bit of the pot underneath because it's got all that really sharp, jagged edge on it, so it just becomes crocs. So if you're 3 floors up and just got a balcony and you weight is an issue, this is great. This pot, 'cause even filled with compost, especially our nice lightweight compost, it's not going to weigh a ton. It's UV stable, it's frost resistant, and anybody walking by, even close up, would never guess this was a plastic pot. You would think it was a glazed ceramic pot.
It is a beauty. 130388 is the item number. It's the big one. It's the 40 centimetre, 16-inch diameter here, and it's 21.24 if you are in the club. Beautiful design on there. and on there as well. So just so you know, it's on both sides. Use your offer code, please, to get your savings and your discounts. Let's give you a little reminder of some of the things you've seen so far, but we've still got lots to show you. We're here till 12:30, so stick around. Or, you know, if you've got to be busy, if you're looking after the grandkids, tune back in later and catch up with all the bits that you've missed. Let's start off with that Hibiscus woodbridge, shall we? The beautiful tropical-looking plant, but not tropical. This can cope with minus temperatures very, very happily. It's £16.99 in the club, and this is the perfect plant if you want to get the most out of the flowering season, because it is a late summer flowering and going into autumn as well. Completely hardy, completely easy. 500074 is your item number. The Exochorda. Claire, thank you very much for placing your order for that. Everybody else, it's time to consider adding an Exochorda into your garden. It's a stunner. It's really easy. Adam told you it'll work in all sorts of soil types. It can cope in a part shade position as long as it's got a bit of sun, you know, a few hours of sunlight on it. It'll be easy. Nice bright sun position as well. Border plant. You could grow it in a pot if you want to. Known as the pearl bush, because when those buds, before they open, they do look like gorgeous little pearls. Lovely spring flowering shrub here, and very, very easy. Fully winter hardy as well, so has our lifetime guarantee. 511240 is the item number, and it's just £16.99 if you are a club member. Next up, we had that wonderful hydrangea, Niko Blue. Now, it's a mop head variety of hydrangea, so this is going to be very simple. Don't worry about it for a couple of years, but when it comes to pruning, it will be after the flowering, because then the new growth that comes up, that will be your flowering growth for next year. But leave it alone for a couple of years, put it in a part shade position, make sure that you keep it well watered, and this will be a stunner in your garden. 511680 is the item number, and it's £12.74 as a club member. Rhodey, yes please, let's have a rhododendron, let's have that beautiful hybrid pink. I mean, they really are stunning plants, aren't they? When these are in full bloom, they steal the show, and they are that plant that gets you through from spring, when all of your spring bulbs have gone over and you're waiting for all the summer stuff to start. This is the pop of colour that you will have in your garden. They need ericaceous compost, they can grow in the ground, you can container grow these very, very easily as well. And of course, you're going to have all of that evergreen foliage, and it is luscious. It's really shiny, glossy foliage you have on there. 511671 is your item number, and it's £12.74 in the club. The Helimium April Sun, lovely. I mean, it's sort of a low-growing, compact little plant. It has a slight spreading nature. It'll grow to about maybe 40 or 50 centimetres spread, I reckon. And it gets covered in these beautiful yellow flowers in springtime, and then it'll just keep popping flowers up for you throughout the summertime. Bees love it. Looks great in a little container. I love the idea of that, in a little container, sat on top of your little outdoor seating area. That's just going to bring you sunshine in summertime. Sunshine, lollipops and rainbows. That's what Matt's told us. I think it does, you're right. 510840 is the item number, and it's £15.29 in the club. The lovely lupins. 3 different colours available for you here in the 9 centimetre pots. Half price deal as well, by the way. So I definitely recommend getting this. Slightly shorter variety than other lupins. Beautiful blooms. Just adore these. And I mean, there's no mistaking a lupin, is there? Even when the foliage just comes through, you're like, yeah, that's a lupin. You know it. That's my favourite. Gorgeous bicoloured blooms on there. £12.72 is your club discount price. Just use your code, please, to get that half price discount and to get your free postage as well. Next up, compost. Yes, we all need it. Adam and I both need to place an order for our compost. I'm sure you're all running out as well, so keep stocked up. You do not want to run out of it. It's so annoying, and it is the best compost for your garden, for your seeds, for your house plants, for pretty much everything you're going to plant in your garden except for the ericaceous loving plants. I always say it, 98% of the things you're going to plant in your garden or your house plants, they're going to love it. You're going to get the best results. 100125 is the item number, and they will be delivered direct to your door. It comes in 2 50-litre bags. No postage to pay as long as you are using that code. Right, we're back with you. We're going to have a look at some more plants today, right now. Hello, hey. And we're going to start over here. I'm going to say it's called Agastache.
I call it Agastache.
Here we go. We don't care.
We care.
We call it whatever we want to.
Yeah. Well, somebody really kind of gave me massive grief the other day because I've always said Sarcococa.
I say Sarcococa.
And they said it's Sarcococa, not coca.
Sarcococa?
Sarcococa, apparently. So I challenged them. I said, how long have you been gardening? And they said 25 years. It's like
40 years,
I've been doing it 55, since I was a kid. So, do one. Sarcococa, tomato.
Who cares?
Agastache. Who gives a... all the stuff going on in the world, it's not that important, is it, really?
All right, I love this one.
And I'll tell you what, I am predicting this will end up on the favourites table.
Yeah, except maybe.
At some point.
It's Sunday.
At some point.
Right, check this out.
Beautiful.
You can't smell it, unfortunately. Rub. Licorice!
It is, yeah. Really licoricey, aniseedy smell, yeah. And these
oh my word, that
strong.
scent is incredible.
It is really nice, isn't it, on those?
So good. I mean, you can't smell it when you just smell the plant, but if you just rub the leaves...
And they're really nice.
Licorice.
Yeah, it is a really, really nice sort of licorice fragrance to it. But look at the flower spikes. I've grown these in the past, and these are adored by the pollinating insects. They really, really love these. And these flower spikes last weeks and weeks. Put it in a nice, bright, sunny spot, moisture retentive soil, great container plant. They're perennial. They'll come back year after year. After the initial flower, trim them down a little bit, give them a liquid feed, they reshoot and they flower over again. So it's quite possible that you're going to get these beautiful sort of purpley blue flower spikes. That's going to have a good root on it, Bex. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, that was you can tell there, because we don't pre-pull these out the pot.
We don't.
We don't check first to see if it's got a root, so we don't look like nerds if we put it out on camera and they haven't. Every time we do it fresh, and I can only think of one occasion once when we took something out of a pot and it hadn't quite fully rooted. 99.9% of the time, brilliant root systems. But yeah, these are gorgeous. And even the sort of the flowers, if you brush the flowers, they have that kind of aniseedy kind of aroma to them. You've got about 4 or 5 stems per plant there, but once these become established, they almost kind of produce a little thicket of stems that will come up. 15, 20 stems per plant, flower spikes on each one, a beautiful purpley blue, as I say, covered in pollinating insects. Gets to about 18 inches to 2.5 foot tall, but easy to grow, and it is a perennial. So you'll see this year after year after year, but a real sort of nice, cheery, happy plant, easy to grow.
560883 is the item number. £12 saving on that one. £15.27 is your club price. Anthony, can I ask you, can you send your photos again? Because they've come through teeny tiny. Can you see that little bit in the centre? I can't show those. And I've just zoomed in, but it goes blurry. It looks amazing. So would you mind trying again? And he's asking when we'll be getting Black Eyed Susan plugs. They've been in stock for a little while. I'm not sure we're going to be bringing them into the potting shed. So if you want those, I would suggest going and looking on the website for them. I know there will be postage to pay, and I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully you've got a postage voucher maybe from being in the club. But I'm not convinced we'll be bringing them into the potting shed, and they may sell out. So I would go and check those out. You are talking about Thunbergia, right?
Yeah.
I would go and check those out on the website if I were you.
I had a really funny moment just then because you said the word website. I was thinking, oh, you can't say website. And
we're not on TikTok.
We're not on TikTok. We're on this one.
So yes, Anthony, 2 things for you. Go check the website. I don't think we'll be. I don't know for sure, and I can certainly ask the question on Tuesday when the guys are back in the office, because Bank Holiday Monday tomorrow, isn't it? I can ask the question on Tuesday, but I don't think we will. There's a pocket of stock left, so I would go and check the website.
And they're nice multicoloured ones, those as well.
They're beautiful. Yeah. I planted them the other day. Yeah. They're in my tailpots.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm excited.
Good.
I did chuck them outside, so hopefully they'll be all right.
Yeah.
Right, let's move on. Oh, Barnsley baby. Yes, please. Let's have a little talk about the lovely Barnsley babies. Neil, I know you've got these. Anyone else? Have you been growing these? These are just beautiful. I love Lavatera anyway, but the fact that you've got a nice compact one is beautiful.
Yeah, this is good. Because I can remember when these first come out, kind of back in the 80s. I mean, these were sort of 80s into the early 90s. There was an explosion of people planting Lavatera. First of all, the purple one came out, then the pink one. But back then, they were huge. They got to like sort of 2 or 3 metres tall, great big kind of gawky looking plants that used to split at the base where they got too heavy. And they were nice, but they kind of fell out of favour because people realised they grew too quick, took over lots of space. Then somebody came up with this beautiful miniature version of Barnsley, Lavatera Barnsley. And these you can grow in a container. fabulous upright plants, only about 60 centimetres tall. Masses and masses of these hollyhock kind of like flowers all the way up the stem. Beautiful, beautiful stamens there. Lots of pollen and nectar for the pollinating insects. Come back year after year, like a nice sunny, well-drained position, plant in beds and borders, plant in containers. And the plants we're sending out to you are just gorgeous. I mean, we've got some really, really good quality plants here.
Yeah, and these have been grown on by us, by the way. Well, not us, but YouGarden, by the way. So these are grown in our compost. I saw them all lined up. We had them in one of the greenhouses to start them off, and now they're all looking amazing. Yeah. So I know, I saw when these were planted up, so I know that these have got a great root system, because they've been grown on for a few weeks now.
Already multi-branch these as well.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I can't see a flower bud yet, but I would predict pretty much within another couple... Actually, there might even be one in the middle of there, you know?
I reckon.
Yeah. Within a couple of weeks, they'll start flowering for you. And once these start flowering, they're going to flower all the way through, right up until September, October. But pretty much, they just flower and flower and flower. In fact, they're quite funny, really, because the flower spike, you think, it can't produce another flower, can it? And it does. It keeps producing, producing, producing. And then even when you get to the last flower, what I would do then is just chop that flower spike off, and they quite willingly reshoot and flower for you again. And they're not fussed about rich soil. So if you're going to plant them in the beds and borders, don't worry about loads of compost and rich soil. They do actually pretty well in poorer soils than they do richer soils. Sandy or clay, it doesn't matter. As long as it's bright, open, sunny, well drained, they do really well. Easy.
Yeah. Brilliant! I adore them. Honestly, I think they're fantastic, and the fact that they just flower from the bottom of the plant up to the tip. I love it when plants do that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like it, but I really do.
I think
it's just extra interest, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because sometimes if it flowers on the top, it's nice, but when you've got a plant that gives colour all the way up, it's a bit different, a bit unusual.
Well, 510339 is the item number if you'd like to go for those. It's a pack of 3. They can be container grown, or they can go into borders, as Adam has said, and a nice sunny spot. If you can find them, that they will thrive there. £12.72. It's another half price deal. There's another £15 saving there, and then you get your extra 15% discount by being a club member as well. Right, let's go to Nandina. Sorry, we have to talk about Nandina. I know we talk about it a lot, but it is a phenomenal foliage plant, a ridiculously hardy one, and one that gives you sort of a festival of colour.
It does. This is a box ticker because, you know, first thing to say, this is a really frost hardy plant. This will get through pretty much most winters unscathed. Also, once it's established, it's a very drought tolerant plant. It will grow in a windy situation, it will grow in a shelter situation. Looks good all the year through because it's evergreen and it's ever red. So pretty much the new foliage always comes through those beautiful red, pinkish colours. Then it tones down to the lovely, vibrant green. They're quite slow growing. They'll get to about a metre and a half eventually. Don't need to prune them, don't need to shape them. They do flower when they're happy, lovely white flowers. Bless you. Those will actually develop into really, really gorgeous berries. And look what they've done here. They've planted it with that Festuca glauca, that beautiful blue grass. So it's one of those plants, you've got the foliage, you can actually sort of contrast the foliage with grasses and other plants. I mean, I think this will look really fabulous with the black snake grass planted underneath. And then the Ophiopogon, yeah, with this sort of coming out in between. You can grow this in a container. It's a fabulous container plant, and also makes a lovely hedge. If you want a loose, kind of informal hedge, it'll be great because you never need to prune it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could eventually, if it gets too tall for you, and I have done this with a few of these, if it does get too tall, about this time of year, chop it down to whatever height you want. Very quickly it reshoots, and it will look brilliant for a long, long time.
OK, so Claire on Facebook is saying hers is looking a little bit sad at the moment, and what can she do about it? Is there a particular feed we can give it? Now, it's funny you say this, Claire, because we were actually talking before the show, weren't we, about how we've had some really weird weather lately.
Yeah, yeah.
And plants, you know, even existing plants can be struggling a little bit with that. We do have a feed, and Blooming Fast would be amazing because it's high in NPK, so you've got the nitrogen, which is going to really work on the foliage, and the phosphorus, which is going to work on the roots there. So I would give your plants a feed, and the Blooming Fast would be a great one. But tell everyone what you're saying about weather patterns and things, and what that's doing to plants at the moment.
Yeah, this is going to be happening more and more because, I mean, as you know, the other day, in some parts, we almost hit 30 degrees. I mean, 30 degrees on the 1st of May is ridiculous, to be honest, excuse me. And plants, young foliage is not adapted to cope with that amount of UV and that intensity of light and heat. So what a lot of people have been finding is some of the plants have got scorched already. I mean, that's common sometimes in July or August, but not this time of year. So if that has happened to your plants, I know a lot of you that put your strawberry runners in, some of the new leaves on those have got a bit crisped by the intensity of the sun, but the plants will adjust and the new leaves will come through and they will grow normally because they've adapted to the temperatures. I always give that analogy, it's like us. If you worked in an office all your life and then you jump on a plane, you jump on the beach down in Malaga and you just strip off and lay on that sunbed, you're going to fry, aren't you? You're going to be frazzled. Well, the same can happen to plants, so they just need that period of adjustment like we do to cope with this extra sun and UV.
And that can be on existing plants, like so Claire's is a 3-year-old plant, but obviously the new foliage has come through and it's getting potentially getting affected by those strong UV rays.
Yeah, it's delicate. It can't, because I mean, we are getting into new territory, aren't we now? Because they did say that was the hottest 1st of May on
ever.
Record.
Yeah,
and the records go back like about 150 years or so. So we are going to get these weird anomalies.
Every year there are these records being made by weather patterns, aren't there? And obviously, you know,
I mean,
global warming, blah, 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 all the rest of it. But we are moving, as you say, into new territory.
Yeah, because a couple of years back, I had some roadies in my garden that had been there a good 3 or 4 years and they were really happy. And then we had that day when it was 42 degrees in Cambridge. Yeah. And I went out the next day and all the end of my roadie leaves were black. Yeah. They'd been literally fried, burnt. Yeah. So, so we will kind of adjust. Gardening always changes. And we'll find a way of dealing with it.
OK, so 510759. Hopefully we helped you there, Claire. Get yourself some feed. That'll probably give it a good go anyway. 510759 is the item number for the Nandina Obsessed. A couple of quid off that one as well. And it's one of our favourites at YouGarden. Obsessed and Firepower and the other few Nandinas, the Gulf Stream. Can't remember the name of the other one. They are beautiful. Get a whole collection of them because they all work really nicely together. £15.29 if you are a club member. Right, we're going on to Cherry Bubbles next. And another rockery plant, I think, this one. This one would look really pretty in rockeries because you get these lovely stems. And it's not going to get much taller than it is now, is it?
No, this is about it. And you get flowers for a long period of time. These are going to have, again, a really... Look at that, gorgeous root system as always. Fierce root system there, beautiful, beautiful roots. And sort of months and months of flower on these really lovely, rigid, upright stems. In fact, I'd probably cut some of these as cut flowers and take them indoors.
I think they'd be quite long-lasting as well, wouldn't they?
And these look amazing out on the nursery. We've got a huge bed of these at the moment. You can see them from like...
from the other side.
From the other side, this great big area of pink. And they actually remind me, the individual flowers also remind me of like a little dianthus flower. So you've got these lovely clusters on these lovely rigid upright stems, sort of semi-evergreen foliage as well. And as Beck said, these are great for rockeries because these will cope with a nice well-drained position. Once they're established, they're really drought tolerant. In fact, the whole of the Lychnis family, they love full sun. They're happy to be baked, very drought tolerant. They do very well on poor soils.
They don't do well in clay, I will tell you that.
No, they don't like heavy clay. no Lychnis do well. Well, they might do all right in the summer, but
they don't
like heavy wet clay in the winter.
I planted some a couple of years ago and they were beautiful and they were lovely in the summer and they just didn't cope with the winter.
No, they will rot off in the winter.
Not in the clay.
No, so if you've got sort of a well-drained soil, a sandy soil, a gravelly soil, Norfolk, Suffolk, those sort of places where you have those sandy soils, you've got the chalky soils down in the sort of Dorset and those places, they would be fine, they would be brilliant. If not, grow them in containers because these are really beautiful container plants and you can just see the picture there we've got in that little white pot. Cut off each flower head when it's finished and they'll just keep flowering for you for a good 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, I love those. OK, another half-price deal. £15 saving, £12.72 if you're in the club. Use the code, please, to get your saving. If you don't use the code... You'll pay full price and you'll pay for postage. So please, please, please use that code. Moving on next to our begonias. Big mix as well. Now, begonias are always a favourite. They are used as summer bedding plants, throughout the UK, and there are several reasons why. And I think the most important one is that they can cope with whatever the weather throws at them.
And look at the size of these as well. I mean,
they're big, aren't they?
For goodness sake, a tiny little plug plant, and already, look, huge, great big roots on that, a lovely, great big stem. stem and flowers. And the good thing about these as well, different coloured foliage. So some have the nice bronzy foliage, some have the nice green foliage. They've always got these lovely, lovely red stems, which is a nice feature. But as Beck said a moment ago, they love the UK because they don't mind our fickle weather. So, you know, if it's a hot, dry summer, providing you keep them watered, they'll be fine. If it's cool and wet and windy, they'll be fine. And they just flower for an insane amount of time. These will grow and flower right up into the autumn. They'll even take one of the very first light kind of autumn frosts. All you've got to do if you grow them in containers is feed them and water them. They even self-deadhead as well. So if you want some containers, beds and borders, especially for a more shady area, go for these. They're awesome.
Right, so Begonia Big Mix 12 plug plants, £5 saving on that one. Where am I? I'm over here. Hello. And it's £12.74 if you are in the club. Thank you so much for all your chat. I love this. So Matt asked you, what's everyone's bank holiday plans? It's cool, but still sunny here, says Matt. I love this. So Anne started painting the decking with decking oil yesterday. Need to finish, but it's killing me, she says. Neil says, I've been taking advantage of the fine weather to work in the garden, tidying up and planting, doing more this afternoon. Garden construction-wise, I really need to make a start on finishing off the stone edging around the flower borders. Just been so busy lately. I'm sure you'll get to it, Neil, don't you worry. Simon's going to continue landscaping his new garden. Lots of work, but will be worth it. It absolutely will. Good morning to you, Robert, who's joined the chat as well. He says planting today, getting the veggies ready. Veg plugs, maybe.
Oh, lovely. Good.
John Nan, I've now received my compost after wasn't able to order it by phone a couple of Sundays ago. I don't know what happened there, but I'm glad you've got it. Managed to order later in the week. I love to see all you customers' chats and enjoy that. He says, my eyes are not very good, so find it a problem texting. Are you doing all right? We can read it, so it's all good. I love this, though. Victoria. I don't know what this was about. I had a purple one, the slugs loved it, and then later she says, I've killed off a rose as well. But then who was it that came back? Grimmy, thank you. Once you've killed a plant or two, you're a true gardener, Victoria. And that is true. What's the difference between a good gardener and a great gardener, Adam?
Is, you know, if you're a great gardener, you've killed like a number of plants, basically, you know, during your life. That's a fact.
You have to kill a few plants to understand and learn. Yeah. So don't you worry, Victoria. We've all done it. In fact, it's a yearly occupation for me. I kill at least one plant a year. I
often say, if somebody could give me all the cash in my hand now of all the plants I've ever bought that have died, I'd be out of here. Yeah. I'd be living the high life somewhere. But there you go. You know.
It's part of it, Victoria. Don't you worry. We all do it. So yes, thank you so much to everybody in the chat. It's lovely to have you joining us. We'll have a little look at some emails after you've learned all about the club.
If you love your garden as much as we love ours, then why not join the YouGarden Discount Club?
The club has been running for many years, and it's where thousands of our customers enjoy a whole host of benefits to ensure that they get the most out of their gardens for less.
Now is a great time to join the YouGarden Discount Club, as the benefits have just got even better. So what do you get when you join the club?
Firstly, our members will get bigger discount rates all year round. So you'll now receive 15% off our range of plants and accessories, and that's on top of any other discounts you might have.
For those bigger investments, such as garden furniture or lawnmowers, for example, you now get 7.5% discount on all of our outdoor living and machinery range.
In addition to the ongoing discounts, you will also get more voucher value when you join or renew your club membership. We will send you 4 £5 product vouchers, which you can redeem throughout the year against the cost of your orders.
And as a new added benefit, you will now receive 2 free P&P vouchers, which can be redeemed against the cost of your shipping.
Club members get priority access to exclusive offers and brand new products at our best prices.
We'll keep you up to date with fantastic advice and top tips from our grown experts and professional gardeners to make sure that you get the most from your new purchases and existing plants. The best way to join the club is with our auto-renewal subscription. You'll pay £10 per year, then at the end of the year we will automatically renew your membership to ensure you retain all of your benefits. Plus, the price you pay when you join will never go up for as long as you remain a member, and that's a guarantee.
And remember, when you join the club, you will start saving from the very first order you make, as the discounts will be applied immediately. So with all that the YouGarden Discount Club has to offer, why not join us and start saving today?
We'd love to help you make the most of your garden for less with the YouGarden Discount Club.
So that's how you join the club, and that's all of the club benefits. So if you want to start saving, that is the way to do it. You can start saving on your first order, and I suggest you add the Lupin Gallery collection into your basket because these are going to delight you for ages. Plus you're getting a £15 saving on this one. 560709, and then even though we're giving you a half price deal and taking £15 off, by being a club member, you get another 15%. So that brings the price down from £14.97 to £12.72. Whoop-de-doo. Next up, we've got the rhododendron for you. This lovely rhododendron hybrid pink. A really quite bright, vivid pink colour you get on this one. It comes in the 15cm pot. It's in bloom now. There's still some fat buds on there waiting to open up. And you will have this in your garden for many years. They're long-lived. They're winter hardy. They like a shady spot or a dappled shade spot. And they like ericaceous compost as well. So they are an acid-loving plant. 511671 is the item number if you'd like to go for that one. £12.74 is your club price. April Sun will be next for you, which is the Helimium. Now this is a lovely little plant, great in a rockery, wonderful in a pot, perfect in the front of a border in actual fact. Nice and low growing, spread slightly, bees and butterflies are going to absolutely adore this one, and it's nice and easy. Just a little prune after flowering and that'll keep it nice and bushy. 510840 is the item number. £2 saving, £15.29 if you're a club member. Galardia. This is the Grandiflora, the Arizona red. Please get this one. This is one of my faves. I really love this colour. I just think it's a right stunner, isn't it? Look at that. Plant that next to a load of rudbeckia, or next to your echinaceas, or maybe near your osteospermums. They would look brilliant together, wouldn't they? Look at those yellow tips on the edges of the petals. Just beautiful, and you can tell that there's a landing pad there ready for all the bees to have a wonderful time. 56084854 is the item number. Half price deal, £15 saving, £12.72 if you are in the club. The hydrangea Niko blue. I mean, look, it's a beautiful blue flower. Look at that. A lovely mop head hydrangea there, nice and simple. Just plant it, leave it for a few years. Don't even worry about pruning. If you're unsure how to prune, just leave it alone for a couple of years. Come back and ask again. It's nice and simple though. This is prune after flowering. It flowers on old growth, so just prune it after flowering and you're good. 511680 is the item number. Put it somewhere shady or part shade, not in full sun. They hate full sun, but you will enjoy that. It doesn't get too big either. Maybe metre 20 height and spread on that one. 511680 is the item number. The Exochorda, please. This is an underrated plant. Adam the gardener. Adam the gardener. That's it, with a capital the. He says, and I 100% agree with him, this is an underrated plant. It's absolutely delightful, glorious, ticks all the boxes, will grow on a washing line. Very, very simple. Clay soil, chalky soil, part shade, full sun. Prune it back if it gets too big. You don't need any particular skill for this. It's just so easy and so very, very beautiful. Elegant, gorgeous. 511240 is the item number there. It's £16.99 if you're a club member. And the woodbridge hibiscus here, tropical looking flowers, but not tropical care. This is winter hardy. It'll cope with -10. It'll cope with, well, it can get down to -20 to be perfectly honest. They really are tough plants. Nice upward growth you get from it. Multiple flowers right from late summer through to autumn, and transitions you from summer into autumn. When a lot of your summer flowers are fading and going over, hibiscus is still doing its thing. I love that central bit of the flower as well. It's really quite prominent, isn't it, on the hibiscus? My dad always used to watch this thing. I think was it Doctor Who or sort of the Day of the Triffids. It just reminds me of a Triffid. Anyway, 500074 is the item number. £5 saving on that one. £16.99. Also like the graduation of colour in the petals as well. Can you see where it's a bit darker and a bit lighter? It's very pretty. Go to yougarden.com to place your orders, by the way, or you can use the phone lines up until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. tell the operator you've got a code, though, please. The Agastache, whatever you want to call it. It's a beauty, and it's got licorice-flavoured leaves. No, scented. I don't think you can eat them. But rub those leaves, and then sniff. Oh, my word, it's amazing. Pollinators are going to adore it. You're going to treat it a bit like you would a lavender, I reckon. It's going to like the similar spot. After flowering, trim it back. Like, when you're looking at it, oh, apparently they are edible. Are they? Oh, interesting.
I'll just try one.
It could be sprinkled on a salad.
Yeah, they are very aniseedy.
Oh, there you go. I want to eat one now.
No.
Give us a leaf, Adam. Although, well, we're eating them now.
Just pick a young one from the top.
Pick a young leaf. All right.
Leaf.
All right, so 3 9cm pots, £12 saving, $15.27 is the club price. Oh my word, it is! It's so aniseedy.
Every day is a school day, isn't it? For
I love it.
I never knew that. I never knew you could eat the leaves. There you go, something else to.
Wow, that is so aniseedy. I love that. 560883 is the item number, £15.27 in the club. I'm definitely going to get some of that and put it on my salads.
Actually, Matt's just told us a fib and they're highly hallucinogenic.
Let's hope they're not hallucinogenic. 400396 is the item number if you'd like to go for your Begonia Big Mix. Now, this for me is the combination of the flower and the foliage. Yeah, we want to fill our gardens with flowers. It's summer. Let's get all the flowers. But look at the foliage as well, because you've got those lovely shades of green, but you get shades of kind of burgundy and copper in there as well. That for me really works with this plant, and it's the perfect backdrop, isn't it, to make those flowers stand out. £12.74 is your club price. You're going to get 12 plug plants included in there as well, so just over £1 a plant. Next, we've got the Lavatera. Now, thank you, Neil. Bless him, he came in and said, and I'm going to read it while we're here. I always want to go Barnsley Baby. The Barnsley Baby is a fantastic plant, but buy one and you won't be disappointed. Mine's growing back nicely after its spring trim. So thank you for that endorsement, Neil. It's a gorgeous one. A more compact Lavatera. You know, it's not going to get too big, maybe 60, 70 centimetres height. I mean, think of other Lavatera and how big they can grow. A lot of us can't fit those in our gardens, and this could be very successfully container grown, as Neil has proved when he sent his pictures in previously. £15 saving, half price deal, 3 pots included, £12.72 is your club price. Cherry bubbles, cherry bubbles. We've got the Lychnis here, a lovely little plant here, nice and compact, nice sort of stems rising up above that foliage, really strong, sturdy stems actually. Container grow these, front and border grow these, rockery grow these. These are going to look lovely in window boxes, and they flower all the way through summer for you. Lovely little clusters up at the top there, and a nice sort of magenta pink colour that you get from these. And they are hardy, they are a perennial, they will come back for you. They can cope with most soil types, but I learnt that they do not like the wet and cold clay in winter. So if you have clay soil, grow them in pots. Otherwise, you're going to be like me and kill that plant. 561167 is the item number if you'd like to go for that. And guess what? It's a half-price deal. We're taking £15 off the price of that, and it's £12.72 if you are in the club. Hello everybody, thank you for joining us here in the Potting Shed. My name is Bex, this is the lovely Adam Walcott, our award-winning gardener. You got me, who's just enthusiastic about it, but I do love it, honest.
You underrate yourself, Bex, you do.
Oh well.
You've done zillions of stuff about gardening.
I have learnt a lot about gardening.
Yeah.
And I love it. And
Definitely.
Do you know what? One of the most important things is enthusiasm, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing, because you don't just come and talk about gardening, you love gardening.
I do love it. I do love it.
That's the
I spent
thing.
a lovely couple of hours in the garden yesterday.
Because you see a lot of people, they talk about something, but they're not really passionate about it, and they don't really care about it, but you love what you talk about.
I had a little tidy up yesterday. I was getting rid of all my tulip bulbs, getting them out of the pots. Getting rid of all my tulip bulbs. That's me pulling them out of the pots. And then I'm deciding what to put in those pots instead.
Yeah, it's
Don't know what to do now.
There's millions of options this time of year.
So many options.
Yeah. All those different bedding plants, some of the smaller perennials. That's a good thing, because it's a nice changeover period again, isn't it? To kind of change from one thing to another.
Do you know what I liked doing? I did it a couple of years ago, and I really liked, you know, the lobelia that you use as the filler in your hanging baskets? I just did pots of those, and it was one of the most stunning things in my garden. I think it's a standalone plant, that. It's not just a filler for your hanging baskets. It looks really nice when you just use that on its own.
And there's actually another a mix of those as well. I think it's called Jewel Mix.
Right.
That's beautiful as well. About 4 or 5 different colours.
Might get myself some of them.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't think about growing certain plants on their own when we should. We kind of.
I'm a big advocate of lobelia, the little flowered lobelia on its own. It's stunning.
And it's a proper blue, like your top.
Proper blue.
Proper blue. A proper blue.
Right, let's move on, shall we? Let's talk about bamboo. Now, I've recommended bamboo to a couple of people recently, and I know that's a bit terrifying for gardeners because, you know, you hear mint, you hear bamboo, you go, I'm not planting that, it's vigorous, it's a bully, it's going to take over. But actually, container growing bamboo is really simple, and if you're looking for something that's going to create, you know, nice movement, sound, but also is fast growing to create some kind of screening, then bamboo's a really good option, I think.
Should we go Dick Van Dyke with it? Like
bamboo, old bamboo.
The old bamboo. Sorry about that, anyway. Don't think we'll be in the West End anytime soon. But yeah, Matt's just gone into complete silence there. What the hell? But
Matt probably hasn't got a clue what we're talking about because he's a baby. He's a baby.
But
that's a baby.
Yeah, but this is a particularly fabulous bamboo, this one, because this is what's called the black bamboo. And what you find is when the first stems come through, they're kind of a greenish colour. But then, when they mature, they literally go black.
Yeah.
Proper dark black stems. This is elegant. This is sophisticated. This is a statement plant. And as Beck said, you know, people do sort of shudder a bit sometimes when you talk about bamboo because they think about, you know, it's going to come up under their next door neighbour's living room carpet and sort of try and take over the world. But they do make incredible container plants.
They do.
And we've got some pots easy big enough for this. I mean, for instance, we've got the great big huge 50-litre pots we've got now, which would do very well. I mean, this giant, humongous pot here.
Now, they're not selected for the live, but Stu did say on Thursday that if you used this week's code, because they were on last week's show, if you want to get some, you could probably still get it with the free postage. I'm not guaranteeing it, but you probably could. So if you do want to get the 50-litre heavy-duty pots, which are brand new, try this week's code, and we think they would still come up with free postage.
And this bamboo, I mean, obviously you planted that height. The old bamboo. The old bamboo. Yeah, keep going. We might get a call eventually.
Every time you say bamboo, I'm going to do that now.
Bamboo.
Bamboo.
But yeah, this one, this plant could survive in this pot forever.
Smash my knee.
And you don't have a lot of luck with knees here, do you? You walked into that trolley the other week and almost
still got a big bruise
your
there.
Knee joint out. Yeah, bless you. So yeah, and this can get to about 2 or 3 metres tall.
Yeah.
So it's quite a sort of
perfect for screening.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's good for screening, but also it's kind of nice screening in the sense if you just want to break up a space, but you don't want to obliterate the space behind, you can still look through a little bit.
Yeah.
So, say you've got a really long, narrow garden, but you kind of, because with long, narrow gardens, your eye naturally is drawn straight to the end of the garden.
Correct, yeah.
And it kind of spoils it. If you put some bamboo to one side, then it breaks it up into sections, and suddenly it doesn't feel like a long, empty space. So you could do that with bamboo. You can put it straight in the ground if you want. And you can get something called root barrier if you want to, that you can put round these plants.
Yes, you can plant them in the ground, but you have to get the root barrier down.
Yeah, and that will stop the kind of the rhizomes from spreading out sideways and kind of trying to
This
do
one actually is a less
domination.
vigorous variety as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
but in the right conditions, it can still be vigorous.
The Phyllostachys aurea, the sort of the golden bamboo, that is more invasive. This one can be a bit invasive, but not quite as radical as the sort of the golden coloured one. But it's still worth
I love
growing.
them, and I think there's a place for them. You've just got to be responsible with it, haven't you?
They're evergreen as well, so they look good all the year through. You have that beautiful sound when the wind blows through.
And those stems are so fascinating when they turn black.
They're phenomenal, aren't they?
I love them. Keep it well watered is my top tip when it comes to bamboo. You know, they don't like to dry out. They will shed their leaves if they dry out. I've learnt this from growing it myself. They will drop their leaves, but actually if you mess it up, which I did, and I thought, I'll just get rid of them, and I chopped it all off, the next year it all just started reshooting again. So it is amazing at sort of recovering if it has any problems.
You get these beautiful big shoots come through. When they mature, they almost look like giant asparagus tips kind of pushing through. And what some people do with the black bamboo, actually, is they actually take all the lower leaves off so you can just see the black canes.
Yeah, that's good.
I told you that Agastache was hallucinogenic, wasn't it? We're kind of like...
Something's happened.
So try this one. It's it is a stunner. It's a knockout. It's a statement plant. Grow it in a big container. Grow it in the garden if you want to, but just think about putting some root barrier around it to keep it in check.
Do you know what? I've just got rid of a couple of bamboos. I might get them back again. Right, 680075. If you would like to go for your black bamboo in the 3 litre pot, it's a £5 saving. It's £21.24 as the club member price. If you want something beautiful, the sound, the sort of screening that you can get from it, that's fast growing, highly recommended, honestly. Right, let's lose that pot because we're going to talk to you next about the lovely callistemon. This is the citrinus. This is the bottle brush plant. I love how this is opening up now. And now we can start seeing the little stems coming. Is this the same one that we've had for the last couple of weeks?
It is, yeah.
That's amazing, actually, because to start with, you couldn't see the buds on the side, but now, within just a couple of weeks, all of the little Brussels sprout buds are coming, and that is what's going to burst open into those beautiful flowers that you can see there. Each and every one of those opens up and releases the stamen. And
this is a really nice sort of pinky red flowered one as well. Great for a really hot, open, sunny position. They grow on really poor soils. They don't mind stony, gravelly, sandy soils. In fact, the only soils they really hate is very heavy, wet, cold soils. That's not the place they want to be. If you could plant this somewhere south-facing, west-facing, where it can get the maximum amount of light and sun, is really, really good. And they're actually very wind tolerant. They're good coastal plants because they've got these really thick, strong, leathery leaves that are an adaptation for this plant to stop it losing moisture. Because where they grow naturally, they grow in quite open, exposed areas. They're sort of subjected to kind of very hot, drying winds, high UV. So good coastal plant. Pretty hardy in most places. Yeah. If you're somewhere really, really cold and you're going to get, there's going to be a particularly extreme winter cold period, if you've got them in a pot or container, just keep them away from the worst of the really, really cold weather. If you're growing them in the garden normally, you can put loads of fleece around if we're getting extreme temperature, but ideally with a lot of these things, if you can get that really good drainage, they will take a little bit more cold if they've got lovely, well-drained soil. It's so often the cold and the wet as a combination that can finish things off like this. And this one, it still has fragrant foliage as well, because we keep doing that of all the callistemons.
They're lovely, aren't they?
Yeah, a bit mentholy, that one.
It really is, yeah.
Not as strong as the standard one we have, but still nice.
I love the tips of these because that leaf, as you say, it's quite... sturdy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the tips of these are like bunny's ears. They're so soft. Just cool. I just want to stroke them all the time. And that is very soon going to start bursting open. A couple of these buds, probably within the next week, they're going to start bursting open. And that is the display that you can get from this. It truly is. We talk about feature plants, the standout feature plants. That has the potential to be that in your garden.
Definitely. You can see that. I mean, that's a house in the UK. You can see that's in a front garden. It's probably south-facing, well-drained.
There's one around the corner from me, and it's amazing when it's in bloom.
I've got customers that have had callistemons in their gardens for years, year after year after year. Find the right position, they're really happy, but don't deadhead them because they actually continue to grow above where the flowers are, which is very unusual for a plant. So if you chop the flower heads off, you're chopping off the new growth that will keep the plant going.
But you trim later on in the year, would you?
No, you just leave it to grow. Yeah, leave it to grow. And they do a really weird thing as well because you can almost age a callistemon because if you look at an older plant, the flowers form seed heads, like very hard little seed heads that stay on pretty much forever. And you can see them going all the way up the stem. So if you see 5 or 6 of those, that probably tells you the shrub's about 5 or 6 years old. And it just keeps growing from that point and then producing more flowers. All right,
gardening. 510046 is the ISO number there. You've got a £5 saving. It's £16.99 in the club. Get yourself one of those. They are beautiful. Right, let's jump into the chat, shall we? We do have some electronic mail. We're going to do some pictures as well. well.
Oh, I like pictures.
Simon says, I must be a great gardener if that's the case. When we were talking about a good gardener, great gardener, killed way more plants. Absolutely. Now, Gillian's asking, do you mix ericaceous compost with normal compost? Gillian, if we were talking about, I'm assuming we were talking about the rhododendrons, the answer would be no. You need full ericaceous compost. Sometimes you would mix ericaceous with normal compost if you've got a plant that likes slightly acidic soil.
Yeah,
right?
and if you've got, I know, say you've got some ordinary compost, you haven't quite got enough, you've got half a bag of ericaceous, yeah, you can mix that together, that's not a problem. But for anything that is actually ericaceous, you want to stick with 100% ericaceous compost, don't mix. And
do an ericaceous feed, and also if it is 100% acid loving, use rainwater rather than tap water if you can, because there's chemicals in tap water that will adjust the pH level of the ericaceous compost. I mean, look, don't fret about it too much. But if you watered with the hose pipe a couple of times, it's going to be fine. But over time, it can change the pH level. So what I do, because I don't have a butt, a water butt that is, so I do run out of rainwater. So I fill a bucket with water and I leave it to stand for a couple of days, and then I use that water, which does help. Right, Mauricia's comment is hilarious. Matt, is that right? I have had the same... so this is what... I like this, Mauricia. You and my mum would get on. So she says, I've had the same rule since I started gardening. Plant it, it either survives or dies. And do you know what? That is one of the comments that I've quoted before that my mum says whenever she moves a plant or she's like, well, it's got two choices.
Yeah.
Can live or die. I mean, she brought her children up like that as well.
It's as abrupt as...
Only joking, Mum, only joking. I hope she's not watching. Yes, there are emails. Hang on. Black Bamboo Derek is jumping up and down in excitement. It's something he can't kill. Derek is jumping up and down in excitement. It's something he can't kill. Mauricia, is that your partner?
Yeah, bamboo's pretty tough to kill once it's established.
Tough.
It is a tough plant.
Right, Ali G. Let's have a little look. So a few photos taken yesterday. Plants looking good in our garden, including the double lily, a rhododendron just starting to open, and also the spider azalea as well. That was that gorgeous pink spider, wasn't it? So...
is there a picture of that? Is there a picture of that?
Yeah, there is.
I'm all excited now because I want to see it in full bloom. Oh, nearly.
Oh, nearly. It's starting
just
to open.
Out.
Look, gorgeous. Wow. You can see all the pink colours coming on the petals there. Yeah, that's going to be really nice when that opens up. Keep us apprised of that one when it's fully open, will you, Ali? Oh, wow, the rhodie. Look at that.
Yeah. See, that's that stage where they really tease you, don't they? Because they're like that for about 2 or 3 days.
They take a few days to open, don't they?
And every day you come out, it's like, oh, come on. Like, I want to see you fully open. And then suddenly, you get those incredible blooms. Oh, look at these.
Yeah.
Mine are looking like this.
Yeah, mine too. All 6 of them are looking fantastic. Yeah. All very much nearly open as well.
Because I remember this time last year, we were looking at pics like that, Bex, and we both said, we're going to buy them this year. We're going to grow them. And we have. And they're flowering, so that's good.
Dingo, morning gang, just a couple of pics. My peach tree coming into blossom and my grapevine. Loads of grapes appearing already. Amazing.
Well, that's early. Everything is early though. It's crazy. A lot of things are about a month earlier than they've been for many years.
Oh my word! Check out how many grapes are appearing on that plant.
Goodness me, that is a seriously healthy grape.
Can you see how many there are?
Yeah, that's looking good.
Look, there's loads of them. Loads of them!
Whoa. And you can tell that grape has been really loved because it's been beautifully pruned.
And then what was the other one? Oh, yes, the peach. That's lovely. Yeah, mine is just a teeny bit further on than that. But yes, you can see all those leaves starting to open up. Got the beautiful blossom on there. That's looking really good.
Peach blossom's one of the most incredible
It is one of the prettiest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know, I don't care if I don't get peaches.
No.
I'm actually not bothered.
In fact, I
don't
like
care.
It more for the flowers.
I just want the flower and the leaf.
I'm with you on that. Yeah, if you've never provided a peach, I just enjoy it for the blossom every spring. And of course, if you've got the crimson one, you've got the beautiful foliage as well as the blossom. So it's like a sort of a double whammy on that one, really. Right,
Penny says, morning, just a few pictures taken this morning. A bit chilly and breezy in Kent. Yeah, it's the same here, my lovely. Whoa! Is that the viburnum?
Yeah, that's
Opulus roseum.
That's the one. Yeah. Oh, you can tell it's windy. Look at those leaves. Bless them. They're like kind of all going one way. Yeah.
Wow.
This is a remarkable shrub. There's one next door to my mum, and my mum's lived in the same place for donkey's years, and that's been there for 60 years. It was even older than me. And I remember it as a kid, and it's still flowering its socks off now.
Yeah.
Stunning shrubs they are. Oh, that's
Is that a lilac?
Yeah, it looks like one of the palabin.
Gorgeous. Is that in that pot?
Look at the size of it as well.
That's all coming from that pot there, isn't it?
That is seriously impressive.
Check out that ceanothus in the background.
And look,
that looks really nice together, actually,
they
that
do.
lilac and that ceanothus next to each other. I like that. That's really good.
I like the little cordyline in the back
Penny
as well.
sent us lots of pictures. Hang on.
I can't believe you've got that much lilac from
Whoa, and there's the ceanothus.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Penny. Oh, my word. Look at that. Is that a standard? Or is that a bush that you've made into a standard? I want to know, is that a standard that you've had for a little while? Did you get that from us?
That looks awesome.
I just planted the standard earlier on this year and it's looking great, but obviously it needs to grow into something. And if it's going to grow into that, yes.
And it's proper blue. Oh, I like that. Look
Whoa,
at this.
what is that?
That's an azalea.
Is that an azalea?
Yeah, that's an azalea, or what we could be calling them all rhododendrons soon. But yeah, that's an azalea.
Wow, that is such a pretty colour. Oh, Penny, thanks for sending these. These are looking great. I mean, she sent loads of pictures.
Those, I think that's one of the American type of azaleas. There's that amazing
She's got the hybrids collection.
Oh, yeah, look at that little Percy doodah there, and Percy Wiseman, Blue Jay. I can never remember the name of that one.
Hang on.
It's a lady's name, I think.
Nova.
No, it isn't.
Nova Zembla.
Nova Zembla. Oh, that's the one that does well in sun, isn't it? The Nova Zembla. I think that's the one that's more sun tolerant.
Oh, well done, Penny. Right, I'll pick another one. Hang on. We're going to go with Tony, but I've still got Anthony and Dave to show. We'll do those in a little while. Tony, is it... Hi, if it's okay with you, I'll be asking questions about what size pots should certain plants be in. We'll do our best to help you. I will ask throughout the summer. Today, the use of the skyscraper lilies should be in a deep pot and suggested the olive, but what is the depth of this compared to the silver medley, which holds the same amount of compost but is a lot cheaper? Hold on. We have got the silver medley. This is silver medley, isn't it? That's silver medley. I'm sorry, Tony, I do not have a tape measure.
Yeah, medley planter vintage, and it's got a vintage look to it as well.
And that's that one.
But would you plant tree lilies in these though?
No.
No, I wouldn't.
I mean...
Because they're going to get too big, aren't they?
They are going to get too big. I know there's a cost element here, Tony. I completely understand.
I mean, the whopping great big... I know this is not kind of aesthetically, as beautiful as some of these other pots, but, the 50-litre one, you could probably get away with doing 2 or 3 tree lilies in. But the only thing I'm thinking of with the tree lilies, because they get so tall...
you need a deep pot.
Yeah.
Because wind, rock and stuff like that. And plus, they do get quite... big rooty, don't they?
Yeah, and they like
big.
cool roots as well, so they like to have their roots kind of a bit shadowed down in the ground. So by all means grow lilies in these, but I wouldn't go for the tree lily type, to be completely honest with you. But lilies in pots, ordinary lilies, I used to grow about a dozen pots of lilies where I used to live, and they were fabulous and fantastic.
Shall we have a look at a couple of pictures of Tony's garden? Because Tony is a container gardener, so obviously loads of patio space, but he's spent a long time getting all of his pots sorted out. Love that little central island that he's got with the bark mulch and stuff in there. He's got his red barren bloodgrass in there. I can see cordylines in there. I can see Euphorbia minors merlot in there. I think there might be some vinca if I'm not wrong. Lovely lilies growing in the background there.
There's the... did you mention that already? The spider, pink spider azalea.
Is that?
Top, just coming out in the top left.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
Or very similar. Something very similar. Yeah, beautiful.
That looks really pretty. Let's just have another quick look at Tony's. He sent lots of pictures.
Oh, look at that.
The easy fill hanging baskets in there.
Pretty. Another azalea.
Another azalea there.
It's definitely azalea time now, isn't it?
Very good, Tony. Looking really, really nice.
And you've got some beautiful lilies coming up in the pots there.
I know, I love all my lilies. I can't wait for them to flower.
Yeah, lilies are amazing.
The fragrance that comes off the lilies are amazing.
Well, I've got tree lilies. Again, I've never grown them before, so this year I bought a pack of 15 tree lilies. They're all coming up, and they're all looking really, really good.
That's looking great, Tony. Yeah, I'm sorry we don't have a tape measure or anything, but you do want to go for a bigger, deeper pot, I'm afraid. I did it for the first year. I did the shorter pots with the tree lilies in, and they were fine for the first year, and I should have separated them, and they're growing, but they're not going to get to their full potential. This is the problem. If you go in a shorter pot, they will probably still grow, but they won't get to their full potential.
Yeah.
And you want them at their full potential. So the bigger the better.
And you don't really want to disturb them once they're planted.
Yeah, I'm not touching them now.
Yeah, best to plant and
I'm going to wait until later.
And that way you'll get the best results. And you'll get them for donkey's years, the lilies. Yeah, the tree lilies will keep coming back year after year, looking amazing.
All right, so Premium Professional Compost, 100125 is the item number. If you do need to stock up on it, both Adam and I do. We both need to place our orders.
Yeah, I'm getting a bit desperate. A bag and a half left now.
Let's get on it.
I get a bit kind of jittery when I've only got a small amount left.
I've got like 4 hydrangeas that all need to go into heavy-duty pots. I've still got my Cogenomai standards that I need to buy pots for, and I need to put them into pots. They're just sitting in the nursery pots in a bucket at the moment.
Oh, what about your dahlias? What's the story on those? They need to be potted on, or they're...
Nah, I've left them. So I will do it next year, but I've left them in last year's compost.
Good.
I'll feed them, but I've just left them in the pots.
Will you do a bit of top-up, though, as a compost?
I'll do a little bit of top-up,
yeah.
And I'll put a fresh layer of strulch over the top. They're in the conservatory at the moment, so the slugs and snails can't get to them. And they're up here. They're doing really well. I can't wait.
I think probably in another week's time they can go outside, can't they? They'll be fine now.
I know, I've got to start.
Which is good.
The problem is, I think what I'm going to do is just leave the conservatory door open, because they are big pots, and there's 8 of them. I am not taking those out and bringing them back in every day. That's not happening. So I'm just going to leave the conservatory door open to harden them off, I'm talking about. Anyway, sorry, enough about me and my garden. Let's talk about the amazing Premium Professional Compost, the compost that is the best thing for your plants to live in. This is why my dahlias are doing so well, even in last year's compost, because it's the best compost.
It is the best compost, and I've made like a little dung ball out of this compost here, but just to kind of show you the point, you can't even really compact this compost, because I've just barely managed to get it to do that. Yeah, and it's literally, that's all, it's just a little tiny sort of movement, and it just breaks up, doesn't it? It's so open and fibrous and airy, which is wonderful.
I am that kid. Somebody makes my...
Did you knock people's sandcastles over on the beach when you were kids?
No, I wasn't that bad.
But
I wasn't that bad.
So first thing to say,
my sisters, yes.
This is a hugely peat-reduced compost, and we were reducing the peat ages back. And even some of the peat still in this compost is made from renewable sphagnum moss, which is really, really good. But where we've taken the peat out, we've put in lots of that composted wood fibre, getting that compost to have a nice open texture, letting the water percolate down through, letting the air get down to the roots, and letting the roots of those seeds and cuttings and plug plants create a fabulous fibrous root system. So a root system like here, not an inferior one at the bottom there. I mean, that's okay, that plant at the bottom, it'll be all right, but you want a proper root system like that, because the plant's going to grow away really, really quickly. You're going to have healthier foliage, a more disease-resistant plant, more fruit, more vegetables, more flowers. And even when the roots get down into this compost, there's a slow-release fertiliser. You'll see the little green beads in this.
They're sometimes a bit yellow, but yeah, you'll find the little beads.
I've seen some tan-coloured ones as well. They can be tan or green, can't they?
But they just break down
gradually
into the soil. There's a little bead.
And can feed your plants for up to 6 months. Some people, one person thought they were snail's eggs, but they're not snail's eggs. They're actually a slow-release fertiliser. And I think it's probably, some of these fertilisers are a bit heat reactive as well. So as the sort of compost warms up, that's when they tend to break down.
Yeah.
You've got the wetting agent as well, which is really, really good. So that means if the compost does dry out, it will rehydrate really, really quickly. It's nice and pH balanced, so it's not too acid, it's not too alkaline, suits the vast majority of plants. It's lightweight, it's airy, it's our most 5-star loved, rated, reviewed product. It's delivered in the plain white bags to your door in a cardboard box. It is more expensive than a lot of other composts, and I've got no guilt saying that.
No, me neither.
The result you get from it will justify that extra cost. Buy cheap, pay twice, to be honest. With this, you will pay a bit more, but the results you get, and if you give your plants the best start in life, that's probably about 80% of the work done, because you're going to just create plants that are going to be flourishing and giving you the results that you want.
It is about that start in life, isn't it? Whilst it's a baby, you know, once it's got strong and bigger, it can probably cope with a bit of neglect. It's a bit like children. When they first start out, that's when they need loads and loads. I'm lying. Honestly, I'll be a better mum than that, I promise. But it is about getting them nice and strong and big and healthy, and after that, you know, they can fly the nest.
Because if a plant is weak, if it's weaselly, if it's kind of, you know, really yellow and pale and insipid and not strong, well, it's going to get attacked by pests and diseases. It's got no resistance. It's going to blow over. It's going to get scorched by the sun. So a plant that's really thriving right from the start is going to just keep going and look fantastic.
Well, it'll be delivered direct to your door. You will get it free postage as long as you use the code. Please give it a go. If you've never tried it, we want to turn you into a compost snob.
Not a bad thing.
We are all compost snobs and we are really proud of it. So if you've never tried it, please just try it. Give it a go and see for yourself the difference that it can make to your, you know, to your plants, to your gardening abilities. It really does make that difference. And you won't know until you try it. You'll just sit there thinking, they're idiots. But then you'll try it and you'll realise we're not. I mean, you might still think that. Fair enough.
We're not worried. We don't mind.
Right, let's bring you back to the favourites table then, shall we? This is, every week we start off on a Thursday. Weird, our week starts on a Thursday. But every week we start and we select what we think are going to be your favourites. On Sunday, we adjust it based on which ones are actually your favourites. And so today we've got these wonderful 5 items on here. Starting off with the rhododendron. This is called the hybrid pink, and it truly is a beautiful pink colour, isn't it? And this is what it can grow into. I mean, actually, when you look at the plant, that looks like a fake flower. It looks like a perfect silk flower, doesn't it?
It does. And that's the thing about rhodies.
And it's not, it's real.
Yeah, rhodies do have the most amazing, stunning flowers.
Look, that looks like a silk flower. That looks like it's been crafted. But that's how perfect they are.
And look at the size of the buds still to come out.
Big, fat buds here, look.
Buds are huge. This is a nice, compact plant, but it's got these ginormous, great big buds on it that look stunning. Those are going to come out in the next 2 or 3 days as well. And you're just going to have this fabulous head of incredible pink flowers, fantastic fibrous root system on that as well, which is a real good sign on a rhododendron. And you've got a couple of options with these. If the picture we showed you there a moment ago, obviously they've got acid soil in their garden, and if you've got rhodies, azaleas, all those kind of things thriving in your garden, you can plant this straight into the beds and borders with those other plants. If you haven't, these make fabulous container plants, and we have a compost version for these as well. We have an ericaceous version of our compost, which you can use to grow rhodies in pots and containers. Super hardy rhodies, they'll get through any amount of frost. Where they grow natively, they kind of grow in sort of mountainous areas, quite high elevated areas, so they're used to sort of very, very cold winters. Evergreen as well, so the foliage looks good all the way through the winter. If you can, deadhead them after they're flowered, because that will encourage the new side shoots to come through that will give you your flower bud next year. Water, feed, use ericaceous feed as well. But just enjoy the splendour and the magnificence of these huge flower heads. They'll be adored by the pollinating insects, and they'll give you a good 4 or 5 weeks from when the first colour starts to show on the bud right to when the flower is finished. And they're joyful. And as Beck said earlier on, they're nice kind of shrubs to fill that gap between all the spring bulbs going over and then the herbaceous perennials really starting to go and flower in sort of late June, early July.
511671 is your item number, and it's £12.74 in the club. Go to YouGarden.com to place your order, or use the phone lines that open until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Free postage on everything that you buy with us from the potting shed here on YGTV, as long as you use that magic code YGTV1825 is this week's code.
I just had one of those. Oh, I hate those. You don't want to sneeze, it doesn't develop.
And it doesn't come.
Oh, I just had one of those.
It's annoying, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You have to look into the light. Look into the light.
Look, stay away
look
from
into
the light.
light. Don't walk into it, just look into it.
OK.
Right, moving on. We've got the hydrangea next for you. We've got the Niko blue here. Now, hydrangeas are a fantastic plant. If you want long interest in your garden, you want amazing summer flowers, but then something that can look at really interesting in winter as well, I just think hydrangea is the one to go for, particularly because it's so well suited to our UK weather.
It is, and you can manipulate the colour on this one. So if you plant this one in acid soil or ericaceous compost, you're going to get these really true blue flowers. If you plant it in neutral soil, you get pinky blue flowers on the one flower head, which is really, really strange. And if you plant it in alkaline soil, they'll go more of a pinky lilac colour. So you can decide what colour you want this to be. You can also get colouring compounds as well to change the colour of hydrangeas. This is a mop head type. going to look absolutely stunning. Really, really nice leaves with a nice serrated edge to them. These are good for shade. They'll grow in sun if you make sure they're well hydrated, but they like dappled shade, part sun. Fabulous container plants as well. These get to about 1 metre tall, 1 metre wide, and if you leave the flower heads on, they look great in the winter time, especially if they're covered in frost or a small amount of snow. And also what the old flower heads do, they protect the new buds underneath from frost during the winter time. So you've got the added protection. Once the risk of frost has gone, cut the old flower heads off and they will flower from beneath. And for the first 3 or 4 years, don't even bother pruning this, just let it grow, enjoy it, and then eventually what you can do is just take out some of the old growth if you want to, and then just do that about 1/3 each year, and they'll just keep flowering for you. They're easy, they're straightforward, they're simple, but if you can get it to be this blue colour, it'll be a real talking point. Real talking point, absolutely. 511680 is the item number there. Comes in the 2 litre pot, really nicely established. £12.74 is your club price. Do you reckon it'll flower this year? I'd say let's do a little bit of a bud squeeze. Maybe. I can't...
We don't know, do we? I'm not sure.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not going to say it will, but next year, definitely.
Well, you've got to be a bit patient sometimes.
Yeah. We all say first year roots and shoots, second year roots, shoots and flowers, or roots, shoots and fruits, depending on what it is.
It's well worth it though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Get something like that in your garden.
Well, that's the thing about gardening. It's a journey, isn't it? Yeah. It's not always instant, and sometimes it's the journey.
What's the saying? Garden like you're going to live forever, or something or other. You've got to plan ahead, haven't you? Yeah, and it's more of a saying than that. I didn't do that any justice whatsoever. Something like that, isn't it?
But sometimes you can walk into a garden centre sometimes this time of year and you can see a blue hydrangea in full flower, and you can buy it like that. But I always feel like I'm cheating when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I like to start from a plant that size.
Sometimes I want to skip to the good bit, and I totally understand it. I completely understand buying a more mature plant so you can get the instant results, but you'll pay for it. It will cost you more. So just depends where you're splitting your budget, doesn't it? Right, Colin's asking, is fish tank water good for the garden?
You could use that. I don't see why not. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think it's got some real good stuff in there. My mum and dad used to have a big old fish tank, fish pond outside, and they used to use the fish water sometimes.
Yeah,
it's got some good stuff in it.
Yeah, fish poo to start with.
Well, exactly.
So that's all good. All organic.
Well, it's all organic, isn't it?
All organic, yeah. It's not like you put chlorine in your fish tank either, is it? So, yeah, honestly, that'd be fine.
Yeah,
use
definitely.
It. Don't waste it.
Right, Helimium April Sun for you next. Sunshine Yellow.
Yeah, this is a Sunshine Yellow.
And rainbows, whatever the song is.
I don't know that song, but...
Matt will sing it to you in your ear. Lollipops and rainbows.
Oh.
Da, da, da.
Sun. Okay.
Every time that you are near.
That sounds like a bit of a West End
Sunshine,
kind of theatre song.
lollipops and da, 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 da.
Lovely.
Anyway, moving on.
Well, it definitely suits this plant because this is a really cheery, happy plant. Look at the bees. Love to see the bees on there. Getting all that nectar, getting the pollen transferred as well. These are plants for full sun. Really, really lovely full sun position. Really acutely well-drained soil. If you can plant them in the garden in that position, it will thrive. It will come back year after year. It has these evergreen or semi-evergreen foliage. Masses of these yellow flowers. It's called April Sun, but ours is flowering its socks off way into May now, and it will keep popping out flowers on and off throughout the summer. Gets to probably about a couple of foot tall, a couple of foot wide eventually, sort of low growing, a nice sort of domed sort of habit. If you plant it in a raised pot, it'll gently kind of tumble over the side of the pot. In a really cold area, I would grow this in a container because it's reasonably hardy, but I'll be straight up with you, it's not one of these plants that will take a really severe bitterly cold winter, long period of time, that would upset it. So if you grow it in a pot, you can just give it a little bit of shelter. But if you're in mouldy areas of the UK, near a house, shelter position, south facing, it's pretty much going to see itself through the winter as long as it's well drained. Because one of the worst things for a lot of plants like this, they'll take cold and dry, but they will not take cold and wet. Matt was just saying this would be a beautiful gift, especially in the lovely yellow pot. I agree. I love it when we do the matching pots like that. It does make it a really nice gift, and I think giving plants is, to be honest, it's becoming a bit of a joke with me and my friends because now
presents off our plants. I'm a gardener, so I give presents as plants. Plants as presents even. But it is a lovely present to get, because when I get a plant as a present, then every time I look at that, I'm like, so-and-so got me that. Yeah. And it's a lovely thing, isn't it?
It is a nice thing to do. It's weird you say that, because we had some friends come and visit us last Sunday.
Yeah.
We've known them for years, but they've never been to our house. We've only ever been to theirs. And every time we go, they give us plants. And when they turned up last Sunday, they could see the plants in the garden.
That's so nice.
Yeah, that they'd given us years ago. And it's like, Pauline, Richard, this is what you gave us 3 or 4 years ago, and now they're this big. So, yeah, gifting plants is a beautiful thing to do.
I love it. Right, 510840 is the item number if you want to go for the Helimium April Sun. It's £2 saving, and it's £15.29 in the club. Please use your code, or you are going to pay the full price and you will pay postage. So that code really is important. This week's code is YGTV1825. When you place your order on the website, there's a little box that says, do you have an offer code? That's where you put that code. Or you can use the phone lines, by the way, 0844 502 0050. Tell the operator you've got that code to use, and they will apply the discounts for you. Right, moving on to the Lupin Gallery collection. We're going into trip down memory lane, long ago into Adam's childhood.
I just ignore her sometimes. I do like a lupine. They're very nice. Beautiful, beautiful plants. I did say on the show before I was garden advisor to Ramesses, so I've been around a bit. Look at the root system on this. Oh, actually, I like that. See that shot there? You see, look at the root system on the card next to it. And this is, I tell you, that couldn't have been more accidental and brilliant at the same time, because yeah, the root system you see on that card where it says standard compost, well, the root system on this plant is the root system that you've got there grown in our professional compost. So this is living proof that if you grow our plants in our compost, you'll get that incredible root system that you can see there, just on that plant there, like that. You'll get that root system, because this is living proof of it. And these are going to grow, I can't talk this morning, going to grow away like crazy once they're in the ground. And lupins are great. They're a good plant for children to grow because they grow quickly. You're guaranteed to flower. These will flower for you this year, these lupins, without any doubt. They'll flower for you. There's 3 fabulous colours. There's the pure white, there's a lovely pinky colour, and there's the bicolour one, the white and purple, which is also great. Plant these in a nice open, sunny position. A well-drained but moisture-retentive soil is good. And I've actually seen lupins, you've probably seen these yourself. There's an area of the M25 you go round, and there's for miles and miles and miles, you see these wild lupins all growing on the embankments of the motorway. I don't know how they got there, but they're all different colours. They're growing in quite poor soil, lovely open, sunny position. That's where they thrive. Once the initial flowers are finished, trim them down to about 6-7 inches, give them a liquid feed, use our Blooming Fast if you've got some, or can still order some. They'll reshoot for you and they'll give you a second lot of flower later in the summer into the autumn. But brilliant plants, and these are stunners, these ones, these 3 plants, and they will flower for you this year. Absolutely, there you go,
560709, half price deal, £15 saving, £12.72 in the club. In the club. Right, let's move on to the most popular item on the show today. That is the Galardias. Of course it is. They are stunners.
I even like the name Galardia.
I always want to... Sorry, everybody. I have to do an Australian accent. Galardia. It's just... It's not from America, but... Australia, but for some reason it makes me want to do an Australian accent.
Yeah, well...
Galardia.
And that's kind of the sort of conditions they like to grow in as well. They kind of like... They like... sort of Australian kind of conditions. So they like full sun, they like good drainage, they like a little bit of a moisture retentive soil. I'm not going to say they'll grow in really bone dry soil, they won't, but full sun is a definite for these, and you're going to get many, many flowers. Really strong, upright flower stems, these beautiful flowers on the top in shades of purple, pink, maroon, orange, yellow. These are just perfect landing pads for the butterflies, the bees, the pollinating insects. They'll go mad for these. And these are perennial plants. They will come back for you year after year after year, providing you plant them in that nice open, sunny, well-drained position. And the plants we're sending out have already got flower buds on. You can see flower buds on there, looking really, really gorgeous. And there's a garden centre near me the one beginning with F, not the one beginning with D, because I like that one. The one beginning with F would probably, in a 2-litre pot, charge you $7.99, $8.99 for one of these plants, just one. So these are gorgeous plants. They're well rooted. In fact, let's tip this one out, show you the root system. I think we've had this one out already, to be honest. But yeah, you've got that incredible root system as always on our plants, grown in our incredible, fabulous compost. Get these in the ground, plant them in that position. These will be flowering in 2 or 3 weeks. They'll flower for months, deadhead them, so that'll keep the flowers coming, and just enjoy these year after year.
Yeah, the Galardias are gorgeous. I want to add them into my border with my Rudbeckia and my Geranium Roseanne and the Verbena, but I just think it'll be so at home there, honestly. 560854 is the item number. Half price deal, £15 saving, £12.72 if you are a club member, and you will get all 3 of those pots. They are a perennial plant that will come back for you as well, so split that cost out for how many years you're going to have those in your garden, and all of a sudden it looks very attractive.
They're good for something called prairie planting, which has been popular in recent years. So plant these in that kind of prairie planting position. And they look great with grasses, so if you can mix them with sort of grasses and things as well.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, and the verbena would be a brilliant touch to grow verbena in between these. Yeah, fabulous.
Love them. Okay, so Adam's changed over the table. We've got lots more to show you on this one. We're starting, actually, something else I've got that I still need to pot up, but with the berry bucks. Now, I'm already growing blueberries. I've got the shrubs that are growing, but I really fancied these because these stay just that little bit more compact, don't they?
And I don't know about growing blueberries. You're nailing growing blueberries.
Thank you.
Your blueberries
I'm doing all right with them, aren't I?
Mind-blowing. And these are the same family. These are a type of blueberry as well, but these ones are much smaller, much more compact, and these will grow into sort of like a ball shape. So probably, would you say about football size, basketball size?
Yeah, I mean, they're only supposed to get to about maybe sort of 40, 50 centimetres
but a nice...
eventually. But you can sort of topiary them, or you could grow them together into sort of a low-growing, productive hedge.
And some of the ones we've got here in front of us have already got the little white flowers on now, so that even at this young age they're flowering.
So what I will say is, actually, this one is the smallest of the bunch, but it's the one with the most flowers on. You see all the flowers on that one?
And lovely white flowers on these, lovely white lantern-shaped flowers.
I love them, I think they're so cute. So it's the smallest plant, but loads of flowers. The biggest plant...
Got a few.
A couple of flowers. Yeah, so I just wanted to point it out.
And these are evergreen, I think, aren't they, these ones, pretty much?
Say again, sorry?
These are evergreen, I think, pretty much, these ones.
Yeah, I believe semi-evergreen, so it depends where you put them.
Yeah, semi-evergreen, but you will get that nice sort of dome shape. You'll get masses of these lovely lantern white flowers in the spring, about now. Again, great for the pollinators. The bees will be in and out of these, pollinating these and collecting that wonderful nectar. Gorgeous, shiny leaves. Some of the leaves come through a nice reddish hue as well as they develop, and then of course you're going to get oodles and oodles of these wonderful little blueberries. They're small, but there's masses of them.
Yeah,
just a huge amount of these. Put them in, I don't know, sprinkle them on your Weetabix, put them on your porridge, put them in your gin and tonic. I guess you could put some in flans and things like that.
You can freeze them,
juice them, just have them in a bowl, mixed
blueberry muffins.
Oh yeah,
blueberry pancakes.
Yeah. Oh, blueberry pancakes. Now you're talking. Blueberry pancakes.
Forget all your smoothies. Get some sugar in there.
and these are going to be the ones that are going to taste the best ever, because if you buy them from the supermarket, I'm not dissing your supermarkets. I love you. You do a brilliant job. But when you pick blueberries at that absolute perfect right moment, they do taste like blueberries you probably never tasted before. They're sweet. They're juicy. Minerals, antioxidants, vitamins, all those kind of things in them. The children will love them as well. And these are great for children to grow because they're easy. They're fun. They're colourful, easy to pick, and just really sweet and tasty.
Very sweet and tasty, yeah. 3 of them in the 10.5 centimetre pots. £12 saving on that one, so £15.27 is your club price for all 3 of those. Remember, you need your ericaceous compost, so do pot those up using the acid soil. They can go in the ground if you've got acid soil already, or you could grow them into those lovely pots where they look like buxus balls, which is brilliant. Oh, look, a strawberry.
Fantastic. Yes, strawberries. These are our ever-bearer strawberries. Well, we've been doing it forever. And the great thing about these ones is the ever-bearer strawberries as well is they fruit over a long period of time, don't they? So you're not just going to get one huge amount of fruit in 3 or 4 weeks. You're going to get fruit really from probably late June through July into August into September. Mid-sized fruit, really, really nice and sweet. I thought I'd let you do that because I haven't got the nails to undo that bag. I'd just probably do a bloke thing and just rip it open.
the bag open.
Yeah. We've got some incredible bare root plants for you here. Now, these bare root plants, they've been kept in cold storage. They were lifted in the dormant part of the year. They're now absolutely gagging to get grown.
They're so desperate to get planted.
You can see the new leaves on the top there. And when you get these home, give them a little bit of a soak, plant them straight away. And there's a little special thing, Bex, isn't it, on these, where there's a special depth to plant these because you want to make sure the little crown bit above the root is proud of the soil. So that's the level they want to go into the soil. If you plant them deeper than that, that little crown bit can rot off and you'll lose the plant. Plant them outside somewhere, bright and sunny, give them a good drink, perhaps incorporate some of our compost into the soil before you plant them. I've planted them about 12, 18 inches apart. You probably will get some fruit on these this year. And there's a bit of a discussion going on about, do you leave the first flowers on or do you take them off?
You can do either, and I was reading up about this recently. Now, when I planted them, I didn't, and I got fruits the first year, and I've had fruits every year since, and it's been lovely. I think I'm going into year 3 or 4. I think it's year 3 with my strawberry runners, and I get a decent amount of fruits. But I was actually reading up on the RHS website about it, and they said, yes, you can, with ever-bearer varieties, remove the first flush of flowers, because then, I mean, it's exactly the same as thinning out fruits when you've got your fruit trees and your pears and your peaches and all the rest of it. You want the plant to focus on getting its roots down. So if you move the first flush of flowers, it can then concentrate on its roots, and it'll still give you a second flush of flowers, and you'll still get fruits in the first year, but it might just give you slightly better crops. You can do either, I think, basically, is what I took from all of my reading.
Somebody asked me the other day on TikTok about that, and I said, well, do half and half.
Yeah, and see what happens.
Yeah,
do an experiment.
Do a little experiment. It might make a big difference, it might not. But one thing I would recommend as well, once they get established, is to liquid feed them with our blooming fast, because that's fantastic for strawberries. It's got the nitrogen, the phosphorus, the potassium, it's got the trace elements as well, and it's really going to get them established and give you those beautiful, really sort of sweet fruit, but over a long period of time. So they're not the biggest strawberry in the world, but they're a decent size, they're sweet, they're delicious. And strawberries are another one of those fruits. You may have only ever tried supermarket strawberries, and they are getting better, and some of them are quite sweet. But when you actually get to that point where you just pull that strawberry and it comes away from that receptacle, as they call it, that middle core bit, and they're super sweet and juicy. Oh, they're something to behold. They really are. They
are indeed. OK, so 20 runners. Oh, my word, discount price, £6.79. Wow. OK, if you haven't planted your runners yet, now's the time to grab that bargain while we've got it. OK, 320070 is your item number there. Eleanor, I just want to say I'm so sorry. Eleanor's father passed away last week, so I'm really sorry for your loss, Eleanor.
Sorry to hear that.
She says that she's inherited her father's garden, though, and she was asking about repotting the wisteria. When can it be repotted? It's still in bloom, and it's one of the large variety, about 4 feet tall. Not now is the answer to that one, Eleanor. You want to wait? Yeah, you need to wait until the autumn to when the plant is dormant. So, hopefully, you'll still have your father's property then, or if not, perhaps you can ask whoever buys it if you can reserve that plant. But you want to wait till all the leaves have fallen off and it's dormant. So, sort of any time from sort of November through to next March, that'll be the brilliant ideal time to lift and transplant it. If anybody's got any questions, you are welcome to ask them. Put it in the chat on YouTube, on Facebook, or you could email us on ygtv@yougarden.com. That's also where you can send any pictures of what's going on in your garden if you'd like to share them with the group. Would you like to share with the group? I'd like to share with the group. It's always nice to share, isn't it? Gardening is about sharing. It's one of the nicest hobbies that people share. They share plants, they share cuttings, they share their knowledge. That's what's brilliant about gardening. It's a real community. Right, we're going to move on to the pink wax flower for you next. Let's just call it the wax flower. And this one's a super interesting one. It's an Australian native, isn't it, this one? It is, yeah. And funny enough, it's got that Chamilucium kind of name to it. And there you go. And that first part is probably named after Chemisiporus, which is a type of conifer. And you can see that in the foliage. It's got that sort of Chemisiporus or what's named sort of foliage on it, conifer foliage, Christmas tree-like, smothered in masses of these pink flowers. And this is another one, a bit like the berry bucks or the Helimium, that has a nice rounded ball-shaped habit to it. I will say with this one as well,
in really, really cold areas or really cold winters, it does need some protection. It won't thrive in really cold, wet conditions. It will give up the ghost there. So if you're in a milder area and you've got a lovely south-facing or west-facing border near the house, really good, well-drained soil, it'll grow outside, it'll be happy, it'll last sort of a number of years, it'll keep that green foliage in the winter, it'll flower like this for a long period every year. If you're in a colder area and you want to grow this, grow it in a pot. They are really, really superb pot plants. They grow fabulously well in pots and containers. And then if you get a really cold period, you can just give it a bit of protection. And when we talk about all these things, by the way, whether it's the oleanders, whether it's the Helimium or anything like that, when we talk about winter protection, we don't mean take it into the living room where it's 23, 24 degrees. If you've got a porch, if you've got a garage, if you've got a room you don't heat, providing it's only, provided it doesn't go below 3 or 4 degrees and you keep them on the dry side, then and there's lots of light, they'll be quite happy in that kind of position. Then once the worst of the weather's over, put them back outside and they can carry on growing.
I love it. I think it's really cute with those, you get so many of those little flowers on there.
And it's got that really lovely habit. I like the fact it's got that lovely rounded growth to it, which is really nice. It's cute. It's cute, it's easy, it's pretty. Masses of those little flowers, and you can see the pollinating insects. It's a joy for them, and goodness knows we need to help them, don't we? So something like this will be really, really good.
Love it. Okay, so we're going to move on to the penstemon, but Penny has updated. So you know that Ceanothus picture she sent, which I'm going to find again? It was a standard.
I've got a proper sneak
She
coming this time.
bought it from our previous worlds on that shopping page. Bless you.
Thank you.
It's about 6 years old.
Whoa.
So that's what my Ceanothus standard is going to look like in about 6 years. I'm so excited. Anybody that got a hold of that Ceanothus standard, that is what is coming, guys. Look at it.
That is awesome.
Isn't it?
That is a real statement plant.
So about 6 years old. She says she just gives it a little trim every now and then.
Yeah, that is
How exciting.
That is magnificent. I'm sorry, I've got to wipe my nose.
You carry on, my lovely. We've got loads of other pictures to show you as well, but I'll tell you what, we'll finish this table first, shall we? We'll move on to the penstemon mix for you. We've got 3 9cm pots here. You get the 3 different colours, the plum jerkum, the strawberry and cream, and the czar included in here.
Or are they penstemon? I've heard people call them that.
Penstemon?
Yeah, but I'm with you on penstemon.
Penstemon.
These are great. These flower for week after week after week after week.
These are great.
Lovely, nice, sunny position. A bit like foxgloves flowers. They've got that same sort of shape. And good thing today is, I don't know if it is planned or not, but almost every plant we bought you today is brilliant for pollinators, because these, again...
Actually, it is good, isn't it?
Yeah, you see bees' bums in these all the time, buzzing away, collecting that lovely nectar. 3 fantastic colours in these. Lovely upright stems, months and months of flower. They're one of my most favourite. But what penstemon like is a nice open, sunny position, well-drained soil. Once the main flower spike has finished flowering, trim it down to above a leaf joint, and what you'll find is these little side shoots, once the main flower spike has finished, these little side shoots, if you chop the top off, they then come to the fore and they will keep flowering for you thereafter. And look at how ridiculous are the size of these plants.
I know.
Again, that place near me, that garden centre I mentioned, they would have plants like this in a 2-litre pot, and they would be $7.99, $8.99, no problem at all. We're giving you plants this size in a 9cm pot, and this is obviously going to have the most fabulous root system, goes without saying, because you couldn't get a plant looking that glorious without a root system like that, and you can't get a root system like that without using fabulous compost, and that's what our compost does. We were saying earlier on, give a plant a good start with the most perfect compost, and then you end up with a 2-litre sized plant in a 9cm sized pot. Yeah. That's what we do.
Absolutely. Neil says, I bought the penstemons off the show a week or so ago, already planted in the garden. They're growing fast. The bees will love them.
They will, yeah.
Honestly, they're going to romp away once you get those planted. 561030 is your item number. Half price deal, £15 off that one. £12.72 is your club discount price there. And then we're finishing off the table. I've got to have a sniff. You're not allowed to keep it all.
I'll give you one. I'm going to get one as well.
Oh my word, the fragrance from Lily of the Valley.
I'm going to do a flipping great big...
That is an absolutely delightful scent, isn't it?
I tell you what, who needs a plug-in air freshener with all those horrible chemicals all around the room and stuff?
That is gorgeous, honestly.
It's so sweet, isn't it?
So sweet, so lovely. And it's a plant that can give you flowers and the gorgeous fragrance, but in shade, which I love. It's difficult to fill shady spots. There are plants that will grow. There aren't as many flowering plants that will grow in a shady spot, though, are there?
And I can vouch for that, Bex, because I've got a north-facing border in my garden, gets very little sun, and I've got a whole, well, I've got colonies of these growing. When they're in their happy place, they'll spread. They'll spread from year to year. You get masses of these really pure white, very, very fragrant scented flowers. You get these leaves that almost look like miniature hosta leaves that stay lovely and fabulously green all through the summer. Then they turn butter yellow in the autumn before they die down. And these plants are tough. Providing they've got the moisture, they're going to come back for you year after year after year, and you'll get that bigger colony. You can leave some in the garden, and you can pick little bunches and take them indoors. And just 4 or 5 of these little flower stems just fill your living room with fragrance.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're so super fragrant.
Wonderful.
Half price? No, not quite half price deal. £12 saving off that one though, so still a really good saving. $15.27 if you are a club member. Item number is 630016. You go to YouGarden.com to place your order for these rooty beauties, or you can use the phone lines as well if you would like to place your order by speaking to somebody. 0844 502 0050 is the telephone number there. Right, we'll just give you a quick reminder of some of the items. So if you want to write down some item numbers, now is the time. So we've got the Agastache or Agastache. This is that beautiful one that has the fragrant foliage. It smells like licorice, and then you get these lovely tall spikes of flowers that pollinators are going to adore. 9-centimetre pots here, 3 of them, £12 saving, $15.27 in the club. Your item number is 560883. Next up, we have got the Lavatera Barnsley baby for you in the 9-centimetre pots again. Half price deal, $12.72. It's a beautiful one. Flowers for flipping ages in the summertime for you. It's winter hardy. It's really easy to look after. Reliably just comes back for you every single year. Neil, thank you so much. Bless him. He said in the comments earlier how amazing this one is. 510339 is the item number for that one. Next up, we have got the cherry bubbles. This is the Lychnis. Lovely little clusters of flowers that you get here. Now, the plant doesn't get massive at all. Maybe about 20, probably about 20 centimetres height, maybe 25. But you get multiples of these flower clusters. You can deadhead those and chop those off. That'll send up new flower shoots for you. Works in pots, works in borders, works in a rockery garden. I love that with all the cobblestones around it. That looks really pretty. Shows the plant off as well. And they will come back for you next year. Just don't plant them in clay soil because they didn't like it. 561167 is the item number, and it's £12.72 as your club discount price. Next, we've got the begonias. Yeah, everybody needs begonias in their garden. I don't mind which variety of begonia you go for. You just need some begonias. The ones we've got on the show for you is the big mix. Now, these do get nice and big. Each one of these plants is going to grow to about 30-40 centimetres, which is fantastic. And they can cope with different weathers. They can cope with sun. They can cope with shade. If you've got a whole border and half the border's in sun, but the other half's in shade, you could plant your begonia big mix across that entire border and it'd still look fantastic, no matter whether it's in sun or it's in shade. They are one of the most popular when it comes to summer bedding, and that's because of their ability to cope with the different weather and the fact they don't mind sun or shady spots. £12.74 for your 12 plug plants. 400396 is your item number. Hibiscus, the woodbridge, a really nicely established plant in this. It is super big, honestly. It is in the 19-centimetre pot. It's going to give you the beautiful flowers on here as well. They look really tropical, but this is hardy. This can cope with minus temperatures, -10, -15, very, very happily. And it is your transitional plant, extending your flowering season from summer right the way through into autumn. It can be one of the latest things flowering, along with your dahlias. They do tend to go on a bit longer. 500074 is your item number on your Hibiscus woodbridge. And the Exochorda, yes, the underrated plant, the one that we want to champion because we think this one is stunning. Look at the amount of flowers. And this happens now, sort of in springtime. It gets completely smothered in these white flowers, but before that, tight, white, pearlescent buds that you have on there. And that is magical. And then they just burst open and cover this plant. Completely hardy, it'll cope with clay, it'll cope with sandy soils. It really does, it isn't fussy on soil type. If it gets too big, you can chop it back. You can prune it to whatever sort of shape and size you want. It can go into borders, it can go into pots, and it can cope in a part sun or a sunny position. Lots of boxes ticked with that plant. Nice and simple, easy gardening we're talking about here. 511240 is the item number if you'd like to go for the Exochorda. And it's just £16.99 as your club discount. Remember to use your offer code, please, to get your discounts, your savings, and your free postage as well. It's very important. It's the code that unlocks all of these deals for you. Next up, we've got your black bamboo. Black bamboo, black bamboo. Just doing my little dance. It's £21.24. It can be grown in pots. You can get what they call root barriers that you can dig down into the ground to stop the rhizomes from spreading. This one is a slightly less vigorous variety, but if you want to create screening, you want to have that lovely movement and sound that bamboo can make, then big pots, grow these in there, and they are, you know, they're quite vigorous. They will cover a space very quickly. I've always loved bamboo. I think it's just a stunning plant. And of course, this has got those lovely black stems on there. Those mature over a period of a year. They start out a green colour and then they turn into that gorgeous black colour. 680075 is your item number if you'd like to go for the black bamboo. And then we've got the callistem and the bottle brush plant. This is the citrinus. So evergreen foliage. Yes, evergreen foliage. Sorry, just getting my brain into gear. And then these amazing bottle brush flowers that appear on here. The flowers last for a good time as well. You know, these really do flower throughout summer. They bring all the pollinators into the garden as well. And they're what's called half hardy. So worst areas of the country, yeah, you're going to need to fleece them and give them a bit of winter protection. But milder areas, these are absolutely fine. 510046 is your item number and it's a £5 saving on there. £16.99 is your club price. And then we've got the Galardia. This was the most, and is the most popular on the show today. I'm not surprised. It's a beautiful plant. It's a herbaceous perennial, so you know, put these into your borders along with all of those other ones. Just naming the ones in my garden: geranium roseanne, bowls mauve. Oh, Anthony, you've got to show your picture of your bowls mauve and stuff. That looks amazing, by the way. With your Verbena bonariensis, with your echinacea, with your alliums. I mean, it's going to look amazing with all of those, isn't it? 560854 is the item number. 9cm pots, 3 of them, and £15 discount on there as well. £12.72 is your club price. The Lupin Gallery collection, shorter lupins, not as long and leggy. Doesn't, you know, just looks a bit neater and a bit tidier. 560709 for 3 9cm pots. You're going to get 1 each of those 3 different colours, and you're getting a £15 saving with your offer code plus free postage. Everything in the potting shed, as long as you use that code, has free postage. Order 1 of everything. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the Yodel delivery man turning up? I say man, mine's a man. I'm not being sexist, honest. Your Yodel person turning up with 1 of everything today, and that has all been delivered free of charge. Like, that's cool, isn't it? 560709 for your Lupin Gallery collection. And then we have the compost, of course. Yes, please. Premium professional compost, the best compost you could ever possibly get. It's 100125. Let's hear from the boss man to tell us all about it.
We describe this as premium professional compost. And the reason for that is it is the compost that is known, this formula we have perfected over decades. So I've been using it for decades. We have perfected it over decades. You've got a blend of the best peats plus wood fibre that you can imagine. Now, by volume, approximately 50% of this compost is wood fibre, and the balance is made up of a blend of peats, and there are 3 different peats. So you've got things like sphagnum moss peat, which is renewable. You've got sedge peat, and then you've got darker sphagnum as well in there. So you've got 3 different peats. You've also got, you can see actually just there, there's slow release fertiliser. These little green, what look like little eggs, you'll see those dotted among the compost when you're planting it. That's slow release fertiliser. One of the most expensive ingredients in any compost is fertiliser. You can see there's another one just down below. That is amazing because that will deploy nutrients to the roots of whatever you grow in this compost just when they need it over the next 6 months. You then got what's called a buffer. Now, peat in particular is naturally acidic. And plants like to be just on the acidic side of neutral as a generality. There are exceptions, so things like rhododendrons and azaleas, they love to be properly acidic in terms of the ericaceous soil or compost they're growing in. But most things like it just on the slightly acidic edge of neutral. So that's what this is designed to give you. So it's got a pH buffer to keep it in exactly that zone. The wood fibre keeps the sort of perfect air-water porosity ratio, which is what we talk about in the trade, all these complicated terms. But it's, what plants need is they need a jungle gym to grow in. So they need a jungle gym for their roots, which is called growing medium. They need some water, and they need some air, and they need nutrients. And when you've got the perfect compost, it blends the air and the water and the constituents of the compost. It all blends together to give the perfect environment. That's what this particular compost does, which is why it's trusted by us. We will be growing approximately 150,000 potted roses on this nursery this year. That's roughly what we grow most years. We'll be growing, I don't know how many hanging baskets, but our pre-planted hanging baskets that will be available later, you will have bought them in the autumn and last spring as well. They grow in this compost. We will grow countless perennials, whether they be in the 9 centimetre square pots or the 3 litre pots or the 5 litre pots, plus fruit trees. And this is the compost we use for all of those things. So we trust it, the trade trusts it, and actually based upon the well, literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of bags of this particular compost that you've bought over the years, you definitely trust it as well. And, you know, and actually, peat is a thing. We need to think about peat. Not me. I happen to also be peat, but it's the peat that's in here that we're talking about. We can still use peat in our gardens right now, and actually the alternatives, generally speaking, are a bit iffy. So if you want to get the best results, in my view, use this particular compost for as long as you can. It's got 50% other material in it, which is the lowest level we could get to and still have a professional quality product for you and for ourselves. So we've been as eco-friendly as we can, and we jumped onto that particular that approach years and years and years ago. So this is the same formulation that we've had for at least the last 6 or 7 years, with 50% other material to bulk out the peat, and it still works better. So I would say this is, in my opinion, it's the only compost I use at home. It's the compost we use on the nursery. I can't recommend it highly enough.
So there you go. That is why you should go for the premium professional compost. Heard from our head gardener, the lovely Peter McDermott there. 100125 is the item number. It's not the cheapest compost, but it is the best compost. And trust me, you want the best. Trust me on that one. You really, really do. Right, let's dive into the emails, shall we? Because there's a few left that we haven't shown yet. So I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to go with Amanda, who says some pics. I can scroll through these ones. Here's a few pics, including my pine berries. I thought I'd lost. I now have 2 pots worth. So we're starting off with, that's a rhododendron, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she's got some lovely little, hang on. Computer says no. Bear with. Disconnecting, reconnecting. Yeah, now we can see it. Right, so we're starting off with some beautiful rhododendrons. There's some gorgeous geraniums in there as well. A little azalea down the front, I think. I can do this, look.
Oh, that's nice. Look at that rose.
That is a pretty rose.
I love those kind of roses.
Love how petalicious that is.
Yeah,
that's
that
beautiful.
smells good as well.
Lovely little geraniums.
That's one of the little cranesbill types. They're my favourite. They're nice and ground huggy, good for rockeries. Look at that, that's a beautiful purple.
Lovely
really perfect
colour.
Purple. Hey.
Oh, little pansies.
Oh,
I do love the little faces on pansies.
Happy,
these ones
faces.
look happy. Sometimes they look really angry, but these are nice smiley ones, aren't they? I quite like it when you get the grumpy-looking pansies as well, though. The grumpy pansies make me smile.
Oh, there's one in the bottom left there. It's like got a real good.
That one there.
Yeah, got like a little mouth, little eyes. That's
why I love pansies. Honestly, I just look for the faces in pansies.
It's like a little lion. Looks like a little
so
lion
cute.
face.
And there's your pine berries.
Oh, look at the pink flowers
yeah,
as well.
so mine come through with pink flowers, but some people say theirs come through with white flowers.
Yeah, because we had some in 9cm pots the other day.
Yeah, and they're in white flowers.
They were white. Oh, there's these.
Yes, look at that.
Yeah,
Caribbean lilies.
Just the same. Yeah, and thanks to everybody as well. That's the oxalis.
That's the oxalis, the iron cross coming through. You must have the summer bulbs planted, yeah? Oh, nice little border going on there as well. Ah, Amanda, these are all looking amazing. Look at your garden. Oh, and the lovely Acer. That's the garnet, isn't it?
Looks like garnet. Looking really happy there.
I think it's garnet for sure.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean,
very nice, Amanda. That's the end.
Thanks for taking the time to send them.
The end. Thank you, Amanda. That's really nice. Hazel says, Azalea looking good in its second year. Thank you, YouGarden. Oh, it is looking good. Wowee.
That's humongous.
Look at those flowers.
How happy and cheerful and bright is that?
In the sunshine as well.
Yeah.
Just shining on there. That's really pretty.
They're real show-offs, really, azaleas, but in a good way. And especially this time of year. Yeah, just when you think you can't get a shrub that looks any more flowery than the ones you've got, azaleas come out and they just put everything else to shame. They're amazing.
I love it. No, I like this one. Lawrence has sent us an update. Do you remember we advised him on maybe some plants to put? He was going to remove his rosemary because it was taken over in this raised border. So he says, hi Adam and Bex, just thought I'd show you the result after getting rid of my rosemary shrub and planting with the suggestions made a week or so ago. So there's Syringa Little Rosie, Nandina Firepower, and for good measure, a Daphne Regalski, which was for somewhere else, but thought, why not? And yes, that is looking beautiful. So it's that little bit space in the middle there.
Look at that Ceanothus.
Ceanothus is looking so cool. That is going to grow really nicely, and the little syringa, the little rosy, is just going to get that bit taller, but the firepower is going to stay nice and neat at the front, and then your Daphne there. I think that's the perfect combo.
I love the landscaping there. Bex, can we just sort of pull out, because there's some tree ferns. If you to the left, to make the picture go a bit... No, make it go smaller. So,
make it go smaller?
Yeah.
Oh, over here?
Oh, no, I thought they were tree ferns. They're not. No, I thought you had some tree ferns, but I was just being nosy. I wanted to see the other side. I love all the paving and the lampposts and everything.
That's really nice, and that lovely little seating area as well. That's a gorgeous garden.
And the colour contrast between the black and all the other colours, that's got a real classic, sharp, sort of beautiful modern look to it. But
definitely.
Also, you've got that lovely soft planting as well. You've nailed it there. I think that's absolutely stunning, that garden.
Looking very nice. And Ali...
Really beautiful.
Ali G, please can you identify this plant, as my label has disappeared? Also, can I ask, are the Penstemon hardy?
Yes. They are hardy, yeah, most winters, providing you put them in well-drained soil. They won't get through wet soil. This is a type of geranium.
Yeah, we don't know which one until the flowers come through, but we can definitely recognise the foliage as being geranium foliage.
Yeah, I think it's one of the geranium, what they call macrorhizum types, but I couldn't tell you the exact variety.
But you've got a geranium in there, likely to be a hardy one.
Yeah, they are hardy, those.
And when the flowers come through, we might even be able to name which geranium, so you might have to send it back again once the flowers come through. Or you might recognise it yourself once the flowers come through as well. So there we go. That has got us up to date, I believe. Hang on, let me just double check. I think we got up to date on the pictures. Dave, did I show Dave's rhododendron? No, I did not show Dave's. Can I just show Dave's? Because I just love this. So he's got this lovely raised planter here. And look at that. So we've got a salix just creeping on the edge there, the flamingo. We've got that lovely ceanothus. He's got his Caribbean lilies. I'm pretty sure there's some azaleas in the front there as well. We've got euphorbia.
What a mix.
Is that the Miner's Merlot? I'm going to suggest it is. And then loads of other stuff going on here as well.
Oh, some foxgloves coming up there.
That is looking really, really pretty. I love that.
I like what everybody's doing with the raised beds. Raised beds seem to be becoming more and more popular now.
Yeah, they're kind of cool, aren't they?
Yeah, and it's nice to sort of elevate certain plants, because the little Peruvian lilies there, obviously they're quite short. So you put them in a raised bed, you can just see right into the plant without bending down. It's some brilliant pictures.
Love it.
And the plant combinations I love as well. Yeah, it's really good being nosy and seeing what other people get up to in their gardens.
There is one more. Apologies.
Oh wow!
Right,
that's good.
Anthony. These are the ones that you sent through, and they were too small, but these come back through now. So there's 3 pictures here, and I mean, look at that. You've got a fancy camera, because look at that.
You've nailed it.
So
there.
lovely
Look
little
at that.
Caribbean lilies next to your bowls mauve. You know how much I love a bowls mauve. I think they are absolutely fantastic. That pathway. I mean, you look like you've got a big garden here. Hang on. Let me go to the next picture. Oh, and just a close-up of the Caribbean lily. Yeah, they look so cute, don't
They're
they?
lovely, aren't they?
And then the next shot.
Really nice.
Let me show you this one. Oh, yes, please. Can I have that in my garden?
Do you know what? That is almost like a garden you could even see at the Chelsea Flower Show.
Yeah.
The kind of the mix of colours, the textures. That is absolutely superb. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Who wouldn't be happy and joyful in a garden like that?
That is looking so pretty. I wonder what's going to climb up that obelisk there. What have you got what's going to climb up that obelisk? I want to know.
Well, let's see. Send us some more pictures.
Send us that one.
Yeah.
Oh. I'll zoom in. I'll zoom in. There, look. There's an obelisk right there. Look.
Send us updates, because
what you've got climbing up that?
We do like to kind of see what what things develop into.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when you got the plants from us, because it's great to see. Because we believe in our plants, we believe in our products, and we don't always get it 100% right all the time, but we correct it when we don't. But it's good to see when you buy from us and you get those amazing results. Fabulous.
Right, Mauricia's had to go. She might have gone already, but bye. She says important things to do, shopping. Bye, Mauricia. Thank you for coming to join us. We're here for another about half an hour. So if you've got any more questions or any more pictures or anything you want to send through, bless you. You are struggling today, aren't you?
Yeah.
If you're catching a cold, you stay away from me.
No, I've got a cold. I haven't got a cold. No, I haven't.
But yeah, if you do have any more questions or any more pictures you'd like to send, hopefully we'll get a chance to show them before the end. But we've got another table of plants to show you. We're going to start in the middle with the callistem and the red rocket. Now this one, we got a brand new batch of delivery that came in. I can't remember how many, but there did seem to be quite a lot of them there. This one has been very popular.
Doesn't surprise me, because normally you think about callistemons. Oh, that's my favourite picture of this.
Yeah, love this.
I love the way the sunlight is coming through those leaves. You can see the little hairs on the edge of the leaves, these bright reds, pinks, kind of other hues coming in on there as well. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
When you see them en masse like that, just incredible. And if you're not a professional gardener or a regular gardener, you could think they were flowers.
You could, yeah.
But you're getting that amazing colour, not from petals, but from foliage, which is incredible. Because normally callistemons, we talk about the bottle brush flower. Don't need flower, this one.
No.
The foliage does the whole thing, and it does it all the way through the year because it's an evergreen plant. These are not going to drop off in the winter time. Still going to look good in winter as it does midsummer. Great container plant. Great for beds and borders. If you're going to plant it outside, super well-drained soil. Doesn't need rich soil either. If it's stony, gravelly, chalky, really porous kind of soil, that would be great. Well-drained is fabulous. Full sun, shelter position, that's where it will thrive. We've actually got one of these in a pot outside.
Yeah, it's massive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this tall from the floor.
It's up to...
Yeah.
It's up to here.
It's big.
It's nice and big.
And it's wide and it's chunky.
You could actually create a hedge out of these if you want to. Now, they're half hardy, so they can cope with a little bit of minus once they get established. So milder areas of the country, if you wanted to create a lovely sort of hedge border out of these, you definitely could. Or in cooler areas of the country, you could container grow it. In one of those 30-litre pots, that's what that big one is in. It's up to here, it's this wide, so you could actually grow it to a really decent size and then easily just be able to move it to give it the winter protection it needs.
Yeah, so that pot that size would be a good sort of permanent. I mean, I'll drop it in. Obviously, you'd plant it more shallow than that. But yeah, I mean, you can see it looks really nice in that pot. And also, even though that's kind of one of our more utilitarian pots, I think that looks pretty good in there because
I don't mind them.
It's not competing with the plant.
I think all your attention is on the plant when you use a boring pot. And I know there are some fancy pots, and we sell them here. And some plants, yes, you're going to plant into the fancy pots, but others, they just don't need it.
Yeah, and I'm going to say something really radical here as well. If you wanted to, everybody's going to go, but you could just saw the handles off.
What?
I'm just saying, if you didn't want the handles on there, and you just kind of... See, I knew I'd get clouted for saying that, but You could.
You can do whatever you like.
It's your pot.
It's your pot. You do what you like.
Obviously, you can't carry it around afterwards, but it's just a suggestion because you might want the pot.
But you know what? You've still got the.
But you
there
don't
is
like
still
the
the
handles.
lips, actually, if
There
you
is.
want to
So-
lift it by the lips.
So that could be, a possibility if you wanted to do that. This is a good plant for a windy position as well because it's got those really, really nice sort of rigid leaves. So it will grow in a nice exposed position. Good coastal plant as well, if you want to. But I definitely did not say to cut handles off those pots. that was a ridiculous idea you
What
came
a
at.
stupid
Bex,
idea, Adam.
why did
How
you say
dare
something so ridiculous as to take the handles off those pots, you silly woman?
680321 is the item number if you'd like to go for that one. It's £16.99. Lovely evergreen plant there. Beautiful bright red foliage that comes through on the new growth. So it's something a little bit different to the Photinia Red Robin, which is stunning, and I highly recommend it. This one is extra special. Right, £16.99 is the price of the Echium Pride of Madeira, which we're coming to next for you. Now, this one can be a bit of a feature plant as well, because when those blue spikes of flowers come on here, and they can get really tall as well, can't they?
And it is blue. Blue.
Oh, yes.
It's not mauve, not purple, not pink.
It is blue.
It's another one of those true blue
I'm going to make the
flowers.
list of the blue plants.
Yeah, these are remarkable. Great big towering flower spikes for a good 6 weeks, a couple of months or so, smothered in bees, butterflies, pollinating insects. Everybody's going to say to you, what is that? Because when this flowers, boy oh boy does it make a statement. Those lovely, lovely sort of glaucous-y green leaves that have got a sort of bit of kind of a furriness to them as well. Nice sort of UV resistant, strong leaves on these because the part of the world this comes from, it grows in full sun. This is definitely a plant for the super sunny spot, well-drained soil. Echiums, we've got a wild Echium grows in the UK, Echium vulgare. So this one's actually from the Canaries and Madeira and that part of the world. But what they love is full sun and poor soil. They do really well in poor soil.
So you wouldn't recommend planting it?
Well, you could containerise it, if you want to. But I'm just saying, if you've got really poor, awful soil,
you don't need to worry.
Echiums love it. They're not bothered. You don't need to mollycoddle them. It'll flower for you. It'll flower for a good few months. I think we're probably not necessarily saying this is a perennial plant.
No, it's a biennial.
A biennial.
But it does sell seed, so you can get baby growth coming from this.
We grew a similar one that's sort of got a single stem with a huge, great big flower, and it's called Pininiata, another Echium, and that, oh my goodness me, we had so many babies from the seeds, that you can keep them going sort of year after year. But if you want to make a statement, if you want drama, if you want these incredible blue spikes of flower, and make sure that's going to have a crazy root system like Bex, that one. Yeah. Look at the base of that.
Jeez. Okay, that really does want to get planted. That is a prime candidate for a squeeze and a tease, isn't it?
Definitely.
Because that is really starting to circle around the base of the pot there. So you're going to squeeze it. You're going to really try and release some. Oh, that's going to take a proper squeeze, just to then tease some of those roots out before you plant it, just so it doesn't keep circling around wherever you plant it.
That's gone up to what we've now called the brooty stage. It's
that
gone
is
from
a
brooty to
brute. Yeah.
But as I say, give this plant space as well. Plant it on its own and just allow this plant to luxuriate in its own space. And just listen to all your neighbours and friends and everybody just say to you, what, where, how, what is that?
Like a firework display.
Yeah.
Ooh, ah.
But it's another one to add to the true blue list. It really is.
True blue. I am going to make that list. So, Echium. Corridalis.
Cornflower.
What's that other one that we had? The Pimpernel.
Oh, the
Anagallis, Sky Lover.
Oh, the Lithidora.
Oh, Lithidora, that's a lovely one.
Heavenly blue.
Ceanothus. Can we call all Ceanothus? Is that blue?
Yeah, yes, Ceanothus, definitely. Yeah, I'd say blue.
Would you call Agastache blue, or is that more a lilac-y?
I'd say it's more kind of purpley colour.
Forget-me-nots, bluebells.
Yeah.
Are you saying they're more lilac? Mine are blue.
We rejected bluebells. We said they're more purple than...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There were some others as well. We got to about 12. I can't remember the others now, but...
this is why we have to make the list, because we sell them, but we can't remember. We've got to make the list.
There's definitely a few more on that list.
All right, let's... hydrangea.
Hydrangea.
The Mechanopsis.
It's blue. It's a pale blue, but it's
absolutely,
definitely blue.
It's still a blue.
Yeah.
All right, any more you want to add to the list? Anyone else? Everyone else sitting at home is shouting something at the screens right now.
We will get some
If you're shouting something at the screen right now, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat on YouTube or on Facebook, and we'll give you a gold star. Right, coming back over to the favourites table, we've got the Galardia, which we're going to start with here. The most popular item on the live. Thank you very much. Adore, adore, adore. Can't tell you how much I love this one.
Yeah, because daisy-like flowers are very simple flowers, but they're classic flowers. These are the sort of flowers, if you walked into a primary school and you asked 100 children to draw a flower, probably 98% of them would draw a daisy-type flower, wouldn't they? There's just something about daisy flowers that really interest us, they really entertain us, they really appeal to us. I think it's their beauty, their simplicity, the openness of the flower. You see the whole flower at once. Lovely landing pads for the pollinating insects and bees. And Galardias will come up year after year, providing you give them that right spot. They're like a warm, sunny, well-drained position, but moisture-retentive soil. Oh, bowls mauve. No, I think that's more.
It's purple.
Purple, yeah.
Sorry, Alison. Try again.
Yeah. And God, we sound awful this morning, don't we?
No.
Yeah. Good try. No, we don't mean it. You know we're only joking with you.
No, it's more purpley.
Yeah, and these as well, if you deadhead them, the Galardias, they'll keep flowering. So cut the dead heads off. They're going to flower for a good sort of 2 or 3 months for you in that nice sunny, well-drained position. And the plants we're sending out have already got flower buds on. You can see great big fat flower buds there. So within 2 or 3 weeks, these are going to start flowering. They're going to go all the way up to probably the end of August into September. Grow them in pots, containers, grow them in the garden in that lovely, well-drained, sunny shelter position, front of the border. Don't make them compete with other plants, and just enjoy just myriads of these incredible, stunning flowers with all the sort of the oranges, the reds, and I like the way the colour filters out from the middle, and you know, you've got almost a deep purple in the middle, filtering out to a yellow and oranges on the edge of the flowers. These are great. Marvellous.
Eryngium blue hobbit.
Oh, definitely Eryngium. Yeah.
I'm not on Google, I promise.
That really is blue.
Agapanthus.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Delphiniums?
Yes, we did. I think we said Delphs.
The common bluebell. Look, it's in a list of blue plants. The common bluebell. It's there.
No, bluebells aren't. It's like the blue moon rose. It's not blue. It's mauve.
Lobelia.
Oh, lobelia. When we say lobelia, of course.
Great hyacinth.
You mentioned. Oh, they're blue.
Yeah. There's one called Morning Glory.
Yeah, Morning Glory. That's no. Don't tell me that. That's Oh, goodness me. That's I know that. Ipomea.
Ipomea.
Yeah, Ipomea. That's its posh name. Ipomea. That's Morning
Any
Glory.
more? I'll get off Google. Right, the Galardia is a half price deal. We're taking £15 off the price there, and we're going to give you free postage, but you have to enter the code to get that, please. So this week's code is YGTV1825, and you're going to get 3 of those pots. And they will, form clumps. You will be able to divide those clumps as well in later years, which is a wonderful thing about this particular plant. That's why I love my rudbeckias and my echinaceas and things, and it sort of sits in that little family of things, doesn't it?
Good for prairie planting, that kind of prairie look with all those other sort of daisy-like flowers, and as you say, the verbena, even verbascums as well look good with these. Grasses in between. Yeah, you can really have fun with these.
Ooh, what's that yellow one we do that look really nice with
Coreopsis?
Yes, that one. Coreopsis.
Early sunrise?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a lovely one.
That is a good one. Yeah.
How did you get... What's that yellow one we do? You got it from that.
How often have we worked together? We're almost like... We're joined together there now when we do our shows.
I love it.
We can read each other's minds.
All right, let's move on to the Lupin Gallery collection for you next. We're going back into Adam's childhood. We're going back to the 1800s. And here we've got the lovely short lupins for you.
Well, I was having a great chat with Charles Dickens, and he said he absolutely loved these in his garden because they're easy to grow, they're guaranteed to flower in the first year, and we've got a great mix in here as well. We've got the white, the pure white, we've got that sort of pinkish red colour. We've got the bicolour, this one, which some people might say blue, but it's kind of purple and white.
It's purple, that's not blue.
Yeah, purple and white. And the root system on these, now I have pulled some of these out of the pot before, so I'll be honest with you, I know these are going to have a magnificent root. Look at that.
That's insane, isn't it?
Look at that. It's insane. It's ridiculous. I mean, really, really... crazy root system there. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move this, Matt, and I'm going to bring this to... Yeah, I'm going to bring this to this because you see, we talk about an amazing root system when you use our compost. Well, that's what you're getting. This is, when you plant things in our premium compost, you will get that root system, and these have been in our premium compost. And that's how I know that these lupins this year are going to flower for you. Oh, it needs to be back in the pot for definite. Good thing about lupins, you can get a couple of flowering seasons out of them. Let them flower to start with. Cut the central flower spike out when it goes off. You'll get little side spikes coming up, as you can see in the picture there.
Yep.
They'll flower for you. When they've gone, cut the whole thing down to about 6-7 inches, give it a good liquid feed of our Blooming Fast. New shoots will come up again, and you'll get a second flush of flower late summer into early autumn. They're perennial, they'll come back year after year, and they're loved by the pollinating insects.
Yes, they are. 560709, £15 saving, just $12.72 if you're in the club. Free postage as well, of course, by using that code. Andrew, if you meant to send us a picture of your rhododendrons coming into flower, it hasn't attached. So if you try again, hopefully we'll get a chance to show it before the end. I'd love to see it. So if you want to send it again, please do. Right, we're moving on to the Helimium, the April sun for you next. Beautiful yellow sunshine flowers.
They are sunshine flowers. They're flowers that are going to make you smile, make you happy, because they're bright, they're cheerful. This plant almost seems to emit its own sunlight. The flowers are so incredibly yellow.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ones that even on a dull, summer's day, that'll still look really bright, won't it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what this will look good with. Imagine if you had some sort of hanging baskets with the apricot shades.
Yeah.
And then you had some of these kind of in pots as well, kind of in the same area. Those oranges,
nice.
those yellows.
Yeah.
In fact, this would look really good with the Galardias as well. All those nice colours together, the oranges, the reds, the yellows. You can get that hot sort of garden kind of look, which is good. These have got really nice evergreen foliage. It's a bit like sort of rosemary foliage, or thyme as well. It's got that kind of look to it. These get to probably about double the height of the plant you see in front of us, about double the spread, so probably about 18 inches or so tall, a couple of feet wide. It's got a nice domed habit to it. If you grow it in a container, it will tumble over the side of the pot a little bit. I'll be up front of you with this one as well. It won't take an extremely cold winter. It's not a plant that's going to get through the harshest of frosts. But if you're in a milder part of the garden, plant it in full sun. Plant it in really well-drained soil, and again, it's not particularly fussed about rich soil. If you're in a colder area, grow it in a gorgeous pot, and then in the really extreme cold, just keep it out the way of the really bad cold till it passes, pop it back outside, and it will have its main flowering period in April, but it will still pop little yellow flowers out on and off throughout the summer, but it will keep that evergreen foliage, and you can see the bees adore it.
Yes, they do. 510840 is the item number. Taking a couple of quid off the price there as well, using that code. So if you'd like to get that one, you know what to do. Just place it in your basket and use the code YGTV1825. Andrew, I don't know if we'll be bringing geranium roseanne in. We regularly bring geranium roseanne into the potting shed. I could certainly ask the question. I could send an email and request it, but I can't guarantee it. So it's up to you whether you want to go and shop the website, or maybe you want to wait until next week, and I'll see if I can get them to bring it into the potting shed. But it is available on the website if you'd like to go there to get it.
Perhaps get them in on a big event next week.
Yeah, but I don't know if Andrew watches us on TikTok. That's the thing.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. Right, so, yes, I will ask the question. We regularly bring geranium roseanne in, so we might have it in very soon, and I can certainly ask, as I say, and see if we can get it in for next week or maybe the week after. But it's up to you if you want to wait and see, or just go and shop the website. Right, hydrangea Niko blue is what we've got next for you. Another blue plant for you. Beautiful blue flowers, but this is very much dependent on the acidity level of the soil that you plant it in.
It is, yeah. This could be blue, this could be pink, this could be kind of in between if you want to. Yeah. It could be, a range of colours depending on the pH of the soil. So if you're in acid soil, low pH, you'll get these gorgeous blue flowers. If you're in high pH, that could be anything, pH 9, 10, 11, 12, then it's going to go more of a a pinky colour. And in the middle, you get a bluey pink flower. So you decide what colour you want this to be. But the blue, for me, it's knockout on this, especially the way it opens that pale colour in the middle.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, and then the blue really. Oh, look at that! I mean, that is stunning. That is such a stunning, gorgeous blue.
I feel like getting one of these and planting it just in ericaceous compost just to get that amazing blue.
And
that'd be gorgeous, wouldn't it?
So, if you've got rhodies, azaleas, all those sort of things thriving in your garden and they're looking really healthy, you can plant this in the garden and it'll be blue. If you haven't, it'll still flower, but they'll be pink. So, the option is yours. It gets to about 1 metre tall, about 1 metre wide, good plant for dappled shade. hydrangeas do quite well in shade. It's hardy. It will come back year after year. Don't bother pruning it for the first 2 or 3 years, and then all you need to do thereafter is just take about 1/3 of the older branches away each year. Job done, really straightforward. You can cut and dry these flowers as well, which is quite nice, or you can leave the dead flower heads on and they look really ornamental during the winter, covered in frost or a light fall of snow. But an easy plant to grow. It's not often you can buy a plant from us that's one colour and you decide you want to change it to another. But with hydrangeas, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's a little quirk of nature.
Hydrangea Niko Blue, then it's 12. I think that's a great price, $12.74.
It's a good plant, that.
It's a lovely plant as well. Really nicely established, gorgeous foliage on there. I'm tempted with that one myself. 511680 is the item number if you'd like to go for that fabulous hydrangea macrophylla Niko Blue. And then the final one on our favourites table is, of course, the rhododendron, the hybrid pink here. I mean, they steal the show at this time of year. Your spring bulbs have gone over. Your summer stuff isn't quite there yet. You know, you've got your bluebells going on at the moment. There's a few things in flower, but if you want a stunning display at this time of year, rhododendrons are a candidate for that.
They are mind-blowing, and I've got an amazing memory of rhododendrons, because I remember the first time my mum and dad took me to Kew Gardens when I was a kid, and it was about this time of year.
Do you know, I don't think I've ever been to Kew Gardens.
Oh, you've got to go,
I really
Bex.
need to go,
you
don't I?
seriously need to go.
Yeah.
Your mind would be blown if you go to Kew Gardens, honestly. Yeah, so I went there in May with my mum and dad, and they've got something called the rhododendron dell there. And this time of year, it is an explosion of these fabulous flowers.
Look at that.
These plants might look like they're delicate. They might look like they need a bit of care and winter attention, but they don't. These will grow in any part of the UK. These are really, really frost-resistant plants. Where they grow in the wild, yeah, they take really, really heavy frosts. The leaves drop down in winter, but they're evergreen, so they look good all the year through.
Well, it looks like a silk flower. This is what it looks like. It's been crafted.
This is sheer perfection, this
Isn't
plant.
it?
I mean, it's utter perfection. Everything about this plant is beautiful. Its growing habit. These are the Yakushimanum type of rhododendrons, which are known for their lovely domed, neat sort of growing habit. Great for containers. So if you haven't got the acid soil, grow them in a container in a pot with the ericaceous compost, and they'll flourish. They don't mind a bit of sun in the morning, sort of late afternoon sun. Just try and avoid putting them in that full-on midday baking sun, but good for shady areas. And as Bex said, they fill that gap between your tulips going over and all your summer perennials really, really kicking in. And once you've got one geranium to flower, as our lovely viewers have showed us, rhododendron even, you'll buy more, because you'll get hooked, because there's a beautiful colour range on these, but this particular one is knockout.
It is, and while we're on it, well, it's $12.74 in the club. Andrew sent his pictures through, so he's saying rhododendrons coming into flower, and it is multiple rhododendrons, so you could be having these kinds of displays in your garden. Look at how many buds are waiting to open up on that one. Oh, gorgeous, loads of them open there as well. I mean, they are. I mean, look at this one with the variegation on the leaves.
We've done that one, haven't we? Doesn't that one have mauve flowers?
Can't remember, but that is so pretty. Loads and loads of flowers waiting to open on that one as well. They are stunning, stunning, and not just him. Dave, rhododendron from you. And there it is. That is the
blue jay?
Marcel Menard.
Oh, right.
So that one is just opening up as well. Look.
Isn't that a lovely colour? I love
beautiful.
rhodies.
And look, there's loads of buds still waiting to open up.
I drive through a village on the way to work here called Middleton, and they've got huge banks of wild rhododendrons either side of the road. And I love it this time of year. They're just starting to come out, and for about a month, it's just masses of these beautiful purple rhododendrons.
So lovely.
They're glossy leaves, and they always really lift my mood.
Yeah.
I just look forward to seeing them.
All right, well, let's remind you of the Exochorda, shall we? Because it's the underrated plant. It's the one that we are championing, because we really do feel like this has a place in everybody's gardens. It's really tough. It's really easy. It's not fussy on soil type. It can cope in part shade. It can cope in sun. And the spring flowering display you'll get from these beautiful white flowers really will be mind-blowing. Sean took a little trip out onto the nursery, so have a look at this.
So this is what the Exochorda look like on the nursery, and they are absolutely gorgeous. They're all in blossom and bud right now. I will be honest, there are not too many left by the looks of things. Remember, this one flowers April time. It has got a really nice fragrance, actually, and they're not going to go too big, so about 1.2 metres. Love a sunny position, and I know you're going to enjoy these for many years to come. I just think they are stunning. If I had enough room, I would buy the lot.
Yeah, they're beautiful in full bloom, but they're also really lovely just before the flowers open. It's known as the pearl bush because, honestly, they do have these lovely, tight little pearlescent buds that just then open up into those pure white flowers. I think it's a stunner, honestly. £5 saving on it, £16.99. And this is what you would be receiving, or something very, very similar to that.
I love it.
It is. It's so pretty.
And what I like is, I've only known a couple of customers with these, but what I like is when the flowers go over, you get a little bit of a breeze.
Like confetti.
And you get that little white confetti thing. That's even nice in itself. Definitely, I'm going to push this shrub in the future because it needs to be in more people's gardens.
Me
because
too.
it's beautiful, but it's so easy to grow, and it's not a fussy plant in any way or form.
Right, 511240 is the item number if you'd like to go for that Exochorda. So we managed to catch up on all the emails. Thanks for sending all your pictures in. Tom's messaged in the YouTube chat, says, yay, finally managed to catch you guys live. Yay! We're here Sunday mornings and we're here Thursday mornings, by the way. That's when we're live, but obviously you can catch up at any time you want to. He says, I have bought 2 of the twisted bay trees. Any advice for care would be great. Also, do they grow spiral shape naturally or with training? So the spiral shape was put into it as a young plant when the stems were malleable. So it will stay there, but as it grows, if it grows any taller, it won't naturally grow the spiral, if you see what I mean. And then care advice. What do you recommend?
Care advice for bays, they're like a nice, open, sunny position, well drained. You can let them grow natural, you can clip or shape them, but they're hardy, tough plants, and you don't really need to worry about them too much. All I'd say is, again, because we always talk about extremes these days. If we get a really extreme cold event in the winter, just put them somewhere into a greenhouse or a porch or somewhere. But other than that, easy, don't worry.
Yeah, they're pretty tough, but if it's really cold, then they can get affected. So if you're pot growing them, it's just easy. Mine lives right, because I use bay leaves all the time in my cooking, so it's a nice sheltered area. It's right near the house, because then I just go out and pick my bay leaves off there, and it seems to do really well there.
As well, they're little creamy
and they're
white
just
flowers,
starting.
aren't they? Yeah.
Mine's just starting to burst open with flowers. I'm just waiting for them to open up so I can get some pictures of them.
And the pollinating insects, again,
Love them.
they go mad for them.
I'm sure it's got the RHS Award of Garden Merit, actually, Bay.
I couldn't swear to it. It probably has.
I feel like it has.
Yeah.
Tom also said, I should also say I have 6 of the Arizona Red. Well done, you. The Poppin' Purple, the Red Hot Poker, and the Brainstorm. He's going for a purple and red colour garden this summer. That's amazing, actually. Love that red and purple. He says, I also grabbed the blueberry set and bird of prey. I'm assuming you mean bird of paradise. Is there a bird of prey? I think you mean bird of paradise.
Yeah, bird of paradise.
But well done. That sounds like a gorgeous collection there. And then on Facebook, Gillian, she says, did I miss the big pots? I don't know what you mean by the big pots, Gillian. Do you mean the 50-litre ones? So we've got the 50-litre heavy-duty pots. Now, technically, these are not on the show this week, but they were on last week. So we think if you want these, you should still be able to get them with the free postage using the offer code that you see on screen, YGTV1825. Or you might even be able to use last week's code, which was YGTV1725. Hopefully, with one of those codes, you'd be able to still get the free postage on here. Please don't shout at me if you can't, though, but we think you should be able to still get those. And it's a pack of 3?
Yeah. And these are...
Why are you grinning at me? Did I say something funny?
No, not at all.
Okay, just making sure.
Funny enough, Matt just guessed it, because I heard in the week that there was a number of you standing inside these.
I sat
pots.
in it. I got in it to show how big it is. I heard that you put it over your head and got your whole torso in it, to show how big it was.
Yeah, they are humongous pots, and they're tough and they're strong, and pretty much anything you see on our shows, even we were doing some lilacs the other day, you can even keep
the big ones.
Yeah, keep a big lilac in there pretty much forever.
I mean, the calistemon, that would live in there. Honestly, everything that we have got,
even the bamboo,
everything we've got on the show today could live its life in this pot.
I would say even, and I don't normally say this, tree lilies, you could probably put 2 or 3 tree lilies in there.
Yeah.
And that would
I'd put 5 in the first year, and then I'd separate them out. But
still deep enough and heavy enough for the tree lilies to do well as well.
So if it was that pot you're talking about, hopefully you'll still be able to get that with the free postage. It's not in the show page because it's not technically on the show this week, but if you find it and you put it into your basket and you're you enter either this week's code or last week's code, hopefully you'll still get the free postage on that one. We have also got, maybe it was this one that you were talking about, we've got the large olive planter as well. If you're looking for something slightly more decorative, we do have the lovely olive planter available. It's your 40 centimetre pot. It's the best ever price on that one, and it's just something a little bit more decorative. Looks like a ceramic glazed pot, but it's not. It's plastic, it's lightweight, it's UV stabilised, it's frost resistant, and it just gives a lovely sort of Tuscan vibe, doesn't it?
And it's damn flipping beautiful.
It's a beauty.
It is.
It's actually
Stunning.
been nicknamed Adam's favourite because he can't stop talking about it.
It's really elegant. I mean, it's just,
it's beauty.
Yeah, just a super gorgeous, elegant pot. And you'd never believe, walking past that it was a plastic pot. You would think it was the real deal. Details
are on the screen there, so 130388, and you can definitely get that one with free postage because it is on the show plan this week. And Matt's going to drop a video in. What are we dropping it in? Oh, the lovely Lily of the Valley. I do adore Lily of the Valley. Apparently this one's really, really popular on the show, and I'm not surprised. Give us a sniff of that flower, Adam, because they have now started to open up, and the fragrance from Lily of the Valley.
See, I'm so glad, Bex, these are now popular, because I've been banging on about these for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
I need to get some of these as well.
Because Lily of the Valley, they are a classic, stunning. That you could smell that all day, couldn't you?
I could. I want that fragrance on me all day, every day.
Excuse me, I must have a little gulp of water.
That's absolutely delightful. And of course, they are, I mean, you get these lovely little sort of nodding bell-shaped flowers there. They will multiply as well. This is the great thing. So these 3 9-centimetre pots, these all form clumps, won't they?
Easily.
They'll spread.
Yeah. And all they ask of you, Lily of the Valley, now, because I've had people say in the past, I can't get Lily of the Valley to flower. I can't get Lily of the Valley to grow. The secret to Lily of the Valley is put them in soil that never, ever completely dries out. They hate to have soil that dries out. So if you've got somewhere north-facing, if you've got a really shady part of the garden where the soil is always damp, even if it's wet in winter, they're not bothered about that. I mean, on my north-facing border, in the winter, the soil is wet, wet, wet. They don't mind that. And this time of year, even into May or June, there's always some moisture in the soil. That's where they'll really thrive. And they spread. They send out little runners under the ground. They send up new little shoots called pips, P-I-P-S, and those pips will grow, they'll flower, they form these beautiful leaves that almost look like little miniature hosta leaves. They're there long after the flowers are finished. They turn a gorgeous buttery yellow colour in the autumn before they die down. And these plants are tough. If we had -20 one winter, they'd be fine. They wouldn't be bothered. If we had tons of heat, they're not bothered, providing they're in the shade.
Will slugs and snails eat them?
No.
It was only because you said the hosta leaves, and I just thought, actually, well, are they attractive to slugs and snails?
No, I have no problems with slugs and snails on mine. They don't bother them at all.
Okay, good.
Mine are flowering at the moment, and the good thing is once you get that lovely little colony of them as well, you can lift, you can divide them, you can make more groups, and you get enough flowers that you can take some indoors and put in a vase, and obviously leave loads in the garden as well. But these are absolutely, I mean, they are just delightful. And go on, Bex, have another whiff, because it's sumptuous, isn't it, that smell?
Oh, God, I love it. That is so beautiful. £12 saving on that one, by the way. You've got 3 9-centimetre pots, but just remember how far those are going to spread, because once they get established, they will form beautiful clumps. They'll send out those runners underground, and they will pop up for you in all sorts of places, and you will be delighted about that happening. 630016 is your item number. Adam's brought one with him.
I have, because I want to keep whiffing it while I'm talking
Yeah,
about
why not?
other things, because it is so absolutely damn beautiful and gorgeous.
You would love that scent filling your home.
Oh.
So absolutely, you'll take little stems and cuttings and enjoy those. Right, we brought you back over to the compost, I think, for the last bit of the show. So thank you so much. Tom Bell says, thank you so much. They're going to be the main feature on either side of my entrance. I have 2 large square wooden planters for their permanent home. The plants turned up looking fantastic, thank you. And he did mean bird of paradise. Neil, thank you so much. He says goodbye. Enjoy the rest of your bank holiday week and see you all Thursday. So thanks for joining us, for everybody. Now, if you are running out of compost, compost. Now's the time to stock up. Grab hold of these. Not that we're going to run out, although apparently once we did.
A few weeks ago we ran out, didn't we? It was like crisis.
We do tend to keep this in stock all the time, but you just don't want to run out of it because you'll get on a roll with doing your gardening jobs, and the last thing you want to do is go and buy an inferior compost. And we've all done it, and you know that it's inferior. It truly is the best compost that your plant's going to live their happiest life in. And I think the biggest thing for me, it's the texture, because I think that texture does so many things. You know, it allows for roots to grow, but it also allows for water to get in and down to those roots.
Yeah.
And this is the thing that I think people notice the most when they first open a bag of it. It's unlike any other texture.
It's not claggy, it's not heavy, it's not consolidated, it's open, it's airy, it lets the light, lets the oxygen down to the roots. It lets the roots of the tiny seeds and cuttings and plug plants get down into the compost and create that fantastic fibrous root system. Slow release fertiliser as well, reduced peat content, pH balance, so it's not too acid, it's not too alkaline, it's going to suit the vast majority of plants. There's only a couple of things Bex and I say probably you wouldn't use this for, which is cacti and orchids, and there's even an ericaceous version of this as well for your rhodies, camellias and all those kind of things.
Yeah, 98% of the things you plant in your garden are going to love it. And houseplants really enjoy this as well. So if you are, you know, repotting houseplants, now you can still get away with doing it now. But yeah, it's going to be.
Have another bit.
I can't get enough of it.
That's so nice, isn't it? Beautiful.
Your plants are going to thank you for planting them in this, and this is the way that you ensure their survival. You get the biggest, the best results, the most fruit production, you know, all of that good stuff, the most flowers, the plants that can deal with the different weather conditions we have in the UK. And if there are pests and diseases, because it's a fact of life, unfortunately, when you're gardening, there are little pests and diseases. But if you've got a strong, healthy plant, it's more likely to be able to overcome it and deal with it better.
And no need to use pesticides.
Yeah, exactly,
They've got their own kind of self-defence mechanism.
Well, it's 100125, the item number. You'll get it delivered to your door, free postage. Make sure you use your code to get your savings as well. That's us done for another Sunday. All over and done again. But we will be back on Thursday, though it's not you, is it, you said earlier?
No.
I think Sean Ryan might actually be coming in to visit, so that'd be nice. If you want to join us on TikTok this afternoon, you can. We'll be live from about 1:30. Lots of love to you all. Enjoy your bank holiday.